Water.
Earth.
Fire.
Air.
For the longest time, the four nations have lived together in harmony. Under the wise leadership of Avatar Roku, the world has experienced an era of peace and prosperity unlike any other. But with the recent death of Avatar Roku after his volcanic island erupted, members of all four nations feel the winds and tides of change. With the search for the new Avatar only just beginning, the world seems poised on the brink of conflict. But without the Avatar, who will save the world?
Hi, I'm Andrew. I play Mako, a firebender from the Fire Nation.
Hi, I'm Archie. I play Aquila, a bloodbender from the Northern Water Tribe.
G'day, I'm Brandon. I play Rung-Bolo, an earthbender from the Earth Nation.
Hi, my name is Bree and I play Shurva, a weapon specialist from the Fire Nation.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Al, an airbender from the Northern Air Temple.
And I'm Owen, the dungeon master of this ragtag group of members of all four nations. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Avatar Legends. We are excited. We're ready. We are very, very keen to play the premiere Avatar Legends RPG campaign, Embers of War. Before we get into it, though, we have some really fun announcements. We have 2 birthdays to celebrate. We have Andrew's birthday, which was 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Andrew, you turned 24. What's it like being a young piece of shit?
It's really good.
Yep. Fuck you. And we also have a much more exciting birthday. Dave's birthday today.
The better one.
The better birthday. Because Dave doesn't make us feel bad with his youth. And his
I
vitality.
make you feel younger with my age.
Exactly. And that's why we appreciate
feel
you,
young.
Dave.
I was trying to point towards Dave, and I
Hashtag
thought
forever
I planned
kid.
it out right before, but I was completely wrong. I was pointing at Owen the entire
Yeah,
time.
that's me.
Like,
Andrew's
"Oh, it's
below you."
his birthday."
Yeah.
Oh, no,
No, he's trying to point at Dave.
Yeah, Dave's that way. Andrew's that way for you.
Left
For
or right
me,
side?
Andrew's kind of like that way. Like, just give him the finger
Andrew's
that way.
there.
There we go.
Andrew's there.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yeah, that's it. So happy birthday, Dave and Andrew. Very, very happy birthday to both of you. And normally I'd reward lasting another rotation of the Earth around the Sun with an inspiration. But I'm
sounds
only going to give one out. And it's going to go to the better birthday. No, of course you both get inspiration. No, it's both of you. I love that Andrew's just sitting there smiling like, yep, I accept this fate. I was expecting him to fight back, but he's just like, no, this is the dice. They've
I
rolled.
felt so uncomfortable.
Fight for the death for inspiration. Yeah, actually, I think we might need to have Airbender versus Firebender to see who gets the. Yeah,
Who
actually,
would win?
I'm pretty sure history, the future, like, we know what happens.
Yeah.
There's definitely a winning side.
does
Yeah.
not go well for one element. So no, happy birthday to both of you. Very, very happy birthday. The other announcement I have to make is that Tears of the Kingdom is a fucking amazing game, and I am thoroughly enjoying playing it. Everyone who's playing it is enjoying it immensely. I know Archie's been playing lots of it. I know Andrew's been playing a bit of it. Dave, you've been playing a bit of it? No, Andrew hasn't. Dave, you've been playing a little bit of it. How many hours, Dave? When you say a little bit, normally for you a little bit's like 200 hours. So
Oh,
Nah, it's only like, I think 30 since it came out.
oh, you haven't
I'll
been
have a
playing
look.
very much.
No. I'm addicted to Rocket League. It's a problem.
It is
It's
actually.
no problem.
You've been addicted to Rocket League the whole time I've known you. You tried
I get
to
shaped.
you tried to recruit me, and I was absolutely pathetic at it. So eventually you just gave up. I noticed, probably because I brought the whole.
Yeah.
the whole team
I
down.
always ask if you want to play Rocket League in stream.
That's true. I'm not very good at it though, so I
how
don't.
many?
That's fine. That's fine. You just play against people who aren't also very good, and it's actually entertaining.
Yeah, true. Very,
one of
very
my
true.
mates was like studying game design
Nothing.
and teaching it and all that sort of stuff. He's like, "Oh, Brandon, come in for like
Yeah.
a test we're doing to test if you can recognize like beat players or something like that." Anyway, I'm like, "Oh, cool, you got to verse these people, yada yada." Played Rocket League, sucked the complete ass. did not go well. And he's like, oh, do you know who is AI and who is real? I'm like, oh, this person's like, no, it's all AI. You just really suck at the game. I'm like, oh, so glad I could participate in your uni study, man.
This computer, we set it to the level a 4-year-old would play Rocket League, and I noticed that it was 12-0. Do you want to talk about that, Brandon?
So bad. It was honestly so bad. I'm like, oh wow, cool. Oh, easy bots.
That's really funny. That's really funny, actually. I can't believe they did that to you. That's. I mean, it's a double blind.
Something I would do.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
It's for science.
Yeah, for
How did that
science.
pass the ethics committee? Seriously.
Does QT have one of those? I don't think so. I don't know.
No,
Probably
they
not.
had. No, I don't think so. I don't think QUT probably has an ethics committee much anymore. Probably got axed with their arts program as well. Relevant political discourse about the future of education in Queensland. So we should get into we should get into our session. I do have a bit of a recap to get us back into the zone. Andrew, you weren't with us last week, so I played Mako while you were away.
He just kept saying,
a lot, and I set fire to a couple of things as well.
Yep.
I figured that was about right. He's happy. Good.
You played it better than Andrew did.
I think I filled you in on most the smaller things that happened. Yeah.
Does he know about
Well,
the
you got your outfit from Fen, and it's a absolutely fantastic looking outfit. I think I described it in a bit of detail last time, but I'm happy to quickly describe it for you now before we start, Andrew, just so Mako knows exactly what he's looking at. So, very much an improvement on your previous garb. The undercloak or the undershirt that you're wearing is now a little bit looser and has a lot more mobility to it. You've got a lot more movement with your arms rather than the suit, jacket, and shirt that you were wearing before, the sort of official Fire Nation suit that's in your character art. This is much more mobile, much more easier to move around in, and gives you a lot of extra movement for your firebending. The material that is slightly flame retardant has been applied all the way up the sleeves and across the shirt and also onto the cloak as well. The cloak itself is this very fashionable, long flowing cloak that actually goes across your shoulders. The sleeves roll up and have a little pin and a button to hold them off your arms if you wanted to roll the sleeves up to expose your forearms underneath. And the tails of the coat actually hold down and have a large split up the back so that you can run quite easily in it and it doesn't restrict your movement while moving around. The hem as well is coated in an extra layer of the flame retardant material as well. It's a much thicker, much more durable outer layer. The other thing that you were there for, that Mako was there for, that you went there for, Andrew, is that Fen also included in Aquila's outfit 2 hidden bladders inside the sleeves to hold bending water, so that Aquila can have some secret water stashed away up his sleeves for easy bending. That wasn't a joke, but I'll accept the very
That's
patronizing
the
laughter.
way you said it, just up his sleeves.
No, was I? Thank you. Yeah, 1 for water, 1 for blood. Exactly right. Thank you, stream. You just watch as Aquila takes down, like, this earthbender walks on over and places a hand over the earthbender's chest, and the earthbender sort of starts twitching. It's like, what are you doing, Aquila? Just refilling my bags. Nothing. Don't worry about it. And as he pulls back, you just see this like stream of blood pulling up from the chest into the bag. You'd fit in very well with. Yeah, you'd fit in very well with the Curse of Strahd campaign at this rate, Aquila.
Oh, we're gonna be a crossover for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in a way, right? Like, Strahd draws people to his realm of Barovia from all other planes of existence in the D&D multiverse. I mean, could be that he pulls across a kid. Nah,
Why not? I mean, he could.
It's silly. I could, but it's
Maybe he was Yavu.
What a twist. That's an M. Night Shyamalan, The Last Airbender level twist, that one. Shyamalan. There actually, there's a live action Avatar coming to Netflix soon, isn't there?
I thought you were just
We're
about
all so
to
excited for that.
remind everyone about the live action movie. I was
No.
so sure that's what
What?
you were about to say.
I don't think we need to. I don't know.
What
Though,
movie?
I think it could be. I think it'd be interesting. I know they're doing a One Piece one too that I'm pretty keen to see. Just to
What,
give it a go.
are they really doing a live action One Piece?
All 1,000 episodes.
I don't know if they're doing all 1,000 episodes, but they have.
I'm
They've
in.
already got the
I'm in.
casting. They've already got. I think they've already finished filming.
Terrible.
No, actually,
No,
to be
the CG on the stretchy arms and the stretchy kicks.
No,
What do you mean
they-
CG? No, they really stretched out his.
Yeah, the actor
Like a
who
Stretch
they've cast
Armstrong.
as Luffy actually looks like he'd do a really good job. And you see him in interviews, it's like basically a real life Luffy. Like he's got that energy about him, like that very like boisterous, innocent energy. I think he'd be good. I'm keen to give it a go. I don't want to make a judgment before I see it, but yeah, it is a good point in that that's a lot of episodes they've got to catch up to. To be fair though, there's also a lot of fucking filler in One Piece.
What's
a
by
couple.
Netflix?
Not
it is
percentage-wise,
on
no. Just
hang
because
on,
it's
I'm
that
watching this
much.
trailer.
Of
watching
One
the trailer
Piece, there's a
right
lot of
now.
filler.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, not right now.
Yeah, he's totally paying attention.
Yeah, apparently the live action Avatar Legends, I see chat's helping us out with this. I'd heard this too. Apparently it's meant to be much more adult and much more like for young adult style setting, which part of me is like, okay. But then I did hear that the original creators, Di Martino and I can never remember the other guy's name, they were part of it and then they backed out, which doesn't make me very
That's
excited.
Never a good thing.
It's not a good sign, is it?
No.
It's like Henry Cavill in
not
Witcher. It's
again.
like, that's not a good sign. Henry Cavill is the
Yeah.
one who is keeping it on track.
But the martial arts are going to be good because I followed the person who's trained everyone on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Follow them where?
Just around.
TikTok, Instagram, like
Just follow them around to their home
At home,
sometimes.
you know.
yeah. It's a really intense stalking because, like, if they find me, they could kick my ass in like 5 different methods. Oh shit! The first season of Atlas out this year, the live action. There you go. Oh my god, that'll be interesting. They wrote the first episode or 2 and then they dropped out. It can't be worse than the movie. I do feel like that's jinxing us though. Like,
Yeah.
I have to say,
Not like this, man.
Every time
Not
I've
again.
seen something like turned live action, it just never ends up being like look at Death Note.
I didn't even
Bleach,
bother with that. I didn't bother with
No, I
that
didn't.
either. Were they any
The
good?
Dragon Ball one back in like.
Oh no, Dragon Ball
That
was
was
so
weird.
bad.
That was like a whole like fever dream.
Oh
that
man.
wasn't Dragon Ball. That was something else.
I think the
something
thing that
else.
got me was like when Master Roshi's like, I'm the immortal Master Roshi. And he's like, my dad's dead. Oh. It's like, who wrote this script? Who approved it? Who filmed it? Who edited this? Like, how did it get to this point? And then it's like actually the
No
film.
one edited it.
Why
That's
are
the
all of your
problem.
producers?
Yeah, what is going on? Yeah, no, that was a bit of a shit show. Look, I'm trying to reserve judgment. I wanna give it a go, and then I will judge it absolutely unreservedly once it comes.
I mean, we can expect the worst and be pleasantly surprised if it's average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather expect it to be awful and be pleasantly surprised than expect it to be great like I did with the first movie and then be horribly disappointed.
Like Ghosting a Shell wasn't too bad.
Oh, apparently the timing wise
Okay.
was something to do with like Avatar Studios. Interesting. Okay, sounds like it might be political. I don't know. We'll have to look. Let's see. Do you know what? Actually, do you know what we could do? We could do all of us when the first episode comes out. Do you want to do a review behind the scenes where all of us like we'll all watch it and then we'll come together and we'll talk about it and give it a review? If you'd like us to do that, let me know.
What
in
if
the
we
comments.
all watch it together?
We should do like a movie night in the Discord.
Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely. I'm just
Cool.
we probably can't
We also-
show the episode.
No,
while
but we
we're
can show
reacting.
our reacting to it.
Yeah, we can react to different bits of it. Watch party. Yeah, okay. Maybe we should.
Also,
Let me
I
know in
just
comments.
watched the trailer for
Yeah.
One Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
looks
think-
terrible.
It was bad.
I still haven't seen the trailer. I've only
It
seen the
looked bad.
casting, so I've got.
Like, the
Happy
CGI and the way
birthday,
they move looked bad.
Oh no. Okay.
Birthday present. Live action One Piece. Aren't you happy?
Oh no. Well, we'll just have to watch it and see. Look, hey, we will definitely do something for Avatar when the first episode comes out. I think that'd be really cool. I'll let you know. I'll look up when that's happening, and we'll organize that and do that as a behind the scenes. And let me know in the comments if you'd like to see it.
All of this will be on the YouTube, right?
Yeah. I'm not cutting any of
Yeah,
this.
cool.
This is quality
So,
content right now.
You can watch my facial reactions watching the One Piece trailer. It is,
Could you
a lot
It
of
was bad.
disgust. It's a lot of
Yeah.
disgust.
could you sum it
Just
up
lost that.
with a single facial expression right now? Yeah, he's not happy. Podcast listeners, he's not
Yeah.
happy. It looks like a mixture
was
between
bad.
anger and disgust.
And like kind of like I ate too much dairy.
It's gassy anger and disgust.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you'd like us to do a review for Avatar the live action when it comes out, or do it as a watch party,
We'll
or how you'd
watch
like us to do
it
it.
so you don't
Yeah.
have to.
You're welcome. Unless it's really good. In that case, we'll watch it, tell you
And then
it's
we'll
good,
tell
then
you
can
that you
watch it.
should
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, let me know in the comments on YouTube or on Twitch. Let me do a recap to get us back into the session so that we know what we're doing, and we can jump into our story. So, the story has been following Shurva and Mako of the Fire Nation, Rung of the Earth Kingdom, Aquila of the Water Tribe, and Aal of the Air Nomads. With the recent death of Avatar Roku following the eruption of his volcanic island home, omens of war and conflict seem numerous. The team are currently on the trail of the 4 elemental spirits in an attempt to calm their rage and undo the damage done by a careless wish made of the whale spirit of the Seawong Desert. With 2 spirits appeased, and only 2 to go, the team are in high spirits. Having left the Eastern Air Temple following the calming of the Sky Bison spirit, the team have travelled through the southern regions of the Earth Kingdom. Soon after arriving on Earth Kingdom soil again, the group were met by Ruler, an old man some of the team had met previously outside the walls of Ba Sing Se, who handed over a rather odd-looking metal lantern to Mako, promising it would open when the time was right. After a
wise
brief
king.
stopover in the village of Chin, just in time to participate in the Avatar Day Festival in the way only this group can, by burning most of the village to the ground, the group have flown to the nearby Kyoshi Island. After meeting with the village elder and the Kyoshi warriors and leader Koko, some of the boys went shopping, while Shurva went for a bit of a training montage with the Kyoshi warriors, Aal hiding up on a rooftop, watching and trying to learn vicariously in the distance before being invited to go and do a bit of a sparring match as well. After an early morning start and a brief attempt at capture by the Chin villagers and some Earth Nation soldiers, an attempt which was quickly repelled by the Kyoshi warriors and the timely setting on fire of their ships by Mako, the group have now collected their purchases, have said their goodbyes, and boarded Mango once again, flying north over the ocean and passing by, at least in the sky, the village of Chin, as they make their way to the Earth Kingdom city of Omashu. We left off last session with you just flying over the tip of the peninsula on which Chin village stands. From the air, as you look down from the back of Mango, you can see that indeed quite a considerable portion of the village shows signs of damage by fire. The stable yard, as well as some of the surrounding houses, have been completely destroyed, and you can see patches where the fire has spread over to the walls and also partly towards the market. The massive statue of Chin, which Rung knocked down on your hasty escape out of the village, has been put back up again, but you can see the damage that's been done. The arm of the statue, which was raised holding a fist high into the air, has still yet to be reattached and is currently sitting on the ground underneath the statue. Wreaths of flowers have been placed around the statue, and you can see as you fly overhead over towards the, probably more towards the west, you can see there are some of the villagers kneeling before the statue, what appears to be maybe openly weeping or at least very upset about the state of their glorious statue. Sorry, what was that? Do you want to describe what you just did, Dave, for podcast listeners?
I held an L to my forehead because they love Chin Village so much.
Absolutely. Just a quick losers.
Oh. No, it's L for love.
Aisle for love.
honey.
The temple itself that was on the edge of the cliff, or the shrine to Chin the Conqueror, doesn't seem to have been affected by the fire. But you can see, set up in front of it, near where the courthouse stands, a group of Chin villagers working on what looks to be a large wooden dial, split into many segments, a large wooden wheel, as they begin making the new Wheel of Punishment. You can see them painting it from high above. My question is, what are you guys doing? As you fly overhead on the back of Mango.
It's all you.
Andrew?
Wait, Owen or us?
Andrew. Andrew, that's
So,
We stopped here purely so that Andrew could have fun.
I wanted to know. I wanted to
Ridiculous.
let Andrew decide what Mako would do.
yep. How far away from the temple? Know that there's a temple now.
So up in the air, I'm assuming that you guys are flying quite high and a little bit to the west, so as not to just fly over the top of the village and draw attention to yourselves. I figured probably you'd want to.
we were trying to draw attention to ourselves to show that we were flying north. Right?
In that case, you're
Yeah.
flying right over the top of the town, hence why you've got so much of a good view of everything that's going on below. I'd say you're probably like 30, 40 meters up above the town, so not very far.
Hey guys, do you think they can see us?
They better.
I think that's the point, right? And then I'll start shooting like fire at the close buildings that we pass by.
Do you actually?
I mean,
I
I
don't
assume
think
we're
we
not
should-
like close enough that you can shoot fireballs at
Yeah,
them.
they
Right,
said
like-
30, 40, right? We
30, 40 meters,
discussed
yeah.
20, right? Was the furthest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wait,
like,
you can shoot
know I'm not
fireballs
gonna hit.
20 meters?
So he can do the little ones, but they quickly drop off and lose power by the
Fizzle a
end of
little.
that. That's like the maximum range he can shoot fire. I think.
I
and
did
we-
not see anything like that in any of the anime.
Yeah. So when you
Yeah.
see all the time, you do.
When
yeah.
they're shooting up towards Upper, when he's flying
Yeah,
over
the
like the
finish.
ships
They sort
and
of
stuff.
curve up and.
How much like do they have to do a run up or are they just standing still when they do it?
Oh, he'd need
they
a little bit of a
generally
run
just do like a shift
few steps
movement.
forward. Mm.
Yeah, kind of like how you
Wow.
would step forward with one hand and.
And
punch
I'm
with
not
another.
trying to like burn them. I'm just trying to get like the distance, so it's not going to be massive at the end. It's just going to be like a little spark.
It's
Yeah,
like a
you're
candle
trying to draw
flame by the end of that
attention.
arc, Dave.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like it really quickly drops off by the end of that 20 meters. That's like the maximum distance. And Mako as well is not trained at long range combat. This is not his speciality.
Like
Okay.
that 20 meter would do nothing to anyone.
Like you could take that, look down, and go, "Oh, I'm a bit warm." Oh, it's like a birthday candle.
Birthday
Okay.
candles for Dave.
Birthday candles for
Just make
Dave.
sure you don't get Mango's fur on fire because I think that would be really bad if Mango caught fire. So just be careful, Mako.
I'll try my best. As I'm just
You
like
just hold her
shooting
steady.
fire left, right, center.
Do you know what else I've
Just
just
Mango
realized
looks like one of
as
those
well?
like UAVs that just have all the flares that shoot out the back of it.
Missile incoming.
Rain it down, boys. As the fire comes out. As Mango flies over towards the village and you just start passing over, initially there's a bit of a silence from the town. You see a few people looking up and pointing, and then as fire begins to poof, poof over the sides of Mango, you hear the sound of a bell being rung, the sounds of cries and screams coming from below, and very quickly, you're probably the first person to notice this. As you're flying Mango over the village, you see up ahead towards the town gates, around the actual front gate, a group of soldiers pull out bows and begin knocking arrows. With a smooth motion, they pull back, and then this rain of arrows flies up towards Mango.
I steer Mango like upwards. The zoom worked really well for that.
That was fantastic. Okay, so what I'm going
If
to...
I hold Mango steady, are you able to create like a shield of air around us?
I can like try to blast some air back. So does Shurva run over and grab the reins? Is that
Yeah. Because we're just flying like straight, so
Yeah.
I would just need to hold her steady. It wouldn't be overly hard.
Well, Shurva, as you dive forward and pull back on the reins, sort of tipping Mango's head up and getting her to fly a little bit higher, could I get you to roll with focus?
Can I describe what I'm going to try and do first?
Go for it, and then I'll change that
Okay.
depending on what you want to do.
Because I mentioned the arrows are coming out from the bottom of a mango, so there's no
Yeah.
real way to like use my air bending to do it while on top of mango.
Oh, so the arrows
So-
are arching up to sort of fall towards you. So the way they're firing isn't to... Because to shoot up and hit something immediately above you is actually a little bit tricky because the way the arrows
Yeah.
arc, it's much easier to aim at a bit of an arc so that they come down and land on whatever's flying towards you. It's a much easier technique for archers.
Okay. I guess I'll seize them. Shurva grabs the reins. He goes to action, and he just leaps off Mango, grabs his 2 little hand fans that he just got, and gives a good blast, which is enough to send him
that
backwards
looks
as well.
sick.
Okay, and and that would also kind of push you back onto Mango's head as well. Yeah,
And
yeah.
even if I miss, I still have my glider as well. So
Very true. Alrighty.
that is a 10.
10. That is a full success, I believe.
Yes, it is.
As you jump forwards and whack your fans together, bringing them out, this concussive blast of air pushes out. The arrows go wild, some of them being pushed up too high, the rest being pushed down towards the town. Oh, being pushed down towards the town. I'll deal with that in a second. As the arrows begin raining onto the citizens of Chin Village. As you blast them out of the way with air, you then fall backwards, landing on landing on Mango's head quite easily and sort of rolling back, probably falling back onto Shurva a little bit as Shurva kind of like moves a little bit to the side to avoid being taken out by you as you land onto Mango's head. Not a single arrow strikes into Mango as Shurva pulls up expertly and you dodge that first wave of arrows. That sudden rush forwards sends Aquila, Rung, and Mako off balance, falling backwards into the saddle as you pull up. I am going to get, because Mako specifically said he was standing to the side and throwing down fireballs, which means you're not holding onto the saddle or sitting down, you are standing up. I am going to get you to quickly roll for me. I'm going to say...
Passion.
I don't think it's a passion roll. It's definitely not a passion roll. I was tossing up between focus or harmony. To be honest, I
would
think
say
it's
probably
Focus.
focus.
Yeah.
Harmony?
Nah, it's focus.
You're focusing on keeping on your feet.
Oh, he's not looking happy. What's that roll? Wait for it to come through. Come on, baby. 10,
I don't
absolute
want him to
success.
fall off.
You piece of shit. You watch
You
as
absolutely fall off.
Mako, you just step to the side, taking it in your stride, and as you fall backwards, you actually turn it into momentum for one last fireball over the top of Mango's tail that shoots down towards the village, striking into the remains of the statue of Chin the Conqueror, and just splashing fire across the back of the head of this statue. Oh, actually, no, do you know what? Even better. It falls a little bit short and catches the wreaths around the statue on fire. This final blast, as the wreaths begin burning, you hear these cries of no from like down below as the villagers begin panicking. Then the arrows fall. I'm gonna, just to simulate randomness in this case, I'm just gonna roll a d100. Okay, 90. You watch as all the arrows begin slamming into the rooftops, not a single one striking anyone in the village below.
Ah, boo!
More murder.
Kill them all!
I know they said that the new live action Avatar was going to be a little bit more adult, but I don't think it's going to be that adult. And
Yeah,
we're
we're
matching the
watching
tone
us
of the
be like,
kids show.
Write that down. Write that down. What they do this?
We're trying our best to match the tone of the show as much as possible. So we're happy
Typically,
to
things
imply
don't
death.
die that we know of.
We'll imply death heavily.
Oh yeah.
Actually, even Korra, to be honest, sometimes it's not even implied. It's pretty explicit death. Like, pretty sure 2 of the bad guys blow themselves up on a boat, and you just
I
see the
always saw
explosion.
Korra as being like a more grown-up version of Atla.
Well, they tried to pitch it to our generation, those who'd watched it
Yeah.
as young adults, as young teenagers. Then Korra was kind of for those who'd grown up, and
Yeah,
I
you grew
liked
up with
Korra.
the show.
Took me a while to get into, but once I did, and because I was like, this is different. It's different. I took a little bit to get used to it, but actually, I really enjoy Korra in hindsight, and I've watched it again since I first tried, and I actually really enjoyed it the second time around.
Yeah,
I think
it was
just
hard because she starts off as like a spoiled brat, just like
Yeah.
it's hard to relate to that. Yeah.
I'm on my love. Yeah. Look, I have to say, I thought the villains in Korra were fantastic. Who was that airbender? I can't remember his name. Not Zephyr?
Yeah, ask someone who's watched it.
Zahir. I was so close. Zahir. Oh my goodness. Yeah. huge fan. I thought he was fantastic. I loved him. He was absolutely terrifying. Awesome. So as you then speed over and begin moving towards the forest that borders onto the edge of Chin Village, out of range of the bows and arrows, Mango lets out a bit of a cry. And as you look down over the edge aisle, you can see, actually all of you, as you look back over the edge of the saddle, you can see the village in pure chaos. People running around, trying to run for cover, a number of the soldiers rushing out, and standing at the front gates, fists shaking in the air. The wheel of punishment is waiting for you! As he sees you flying overhead, you see the mayor of Chin Village.
It's just in the background. It's broken.
We're fixing it!
Oh no.
Alrighty. Is there anything you would like to be doing during your journey towards the city of Omashu? The pathway that you're currently on, heading up from Chin Village, leads you around the coast for a little bit, and then a little bit inland. You can border along the desert as you do so. Oh, I just realized what's exactly.
Can I say?
Yeah.
We don't want to give Chin Village too much of an idea where we're going.
Yep.
On top of that, I imagine wind currents work better along the coast.
Yep.
So I think we'll circle, we'll head. I'm looking at a map. We'll head northwest from Chin Village and slingshot around the coast to Omashu. So we're not heading directly there, and we're not gonna see the wheel of punishment in Omashu if we're lucky.
Fair enough. So look, if you were to head across the forests at first and then move through around the coast, it'd be very hard for them to know exactly where you're headed. At this point, it'd just look like you're headed north. North of where you are, there's so many destinations. There's the desert itself immediately to the northeast of where you are, Ba Sing Se across that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that they could presume you're headed or lose you. There's a lot of places.
Yeah, but we also thought going south from Chin. There's a lot of places south from Chin as well, and they found us at Kyoshi.
Well, to be fair, there's only one real place immediately south of Chin, and that is Kyoshi Island. Otherwise, it's just kind of empty land and unused territories before you then hit the southern water track.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because you've got to head west if you want to get to the Southern Air Temple, and immediately south of Chin Village is Kyoshi Island. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think it's not outside the realms of possibility that if they saw you flying south towards Kyoshi Island, the thought would immediately be, oh, we'll check there first. If we don't find them there, then we'll keep going south until we find them. Worst case scenario, Kyoshi Island would have seen them. Track you guys down. Awesome. Okay, perfect. As you begin flying, sort of moving around the coastline a little bit to throw off the potential pursuers, the land beneath quickly falls way to forests and mountain ranges. And as you fly for the next 2 or 3 hours, the landscape remains unchanged. As you cross the edge of the mountain ranges and begin moving further north along the coastline, which bends and curves around towards the east, forming a bit of a half-moon bay, you see before you a vast expanse of trees, almost like a sea below you of greenery. And in the very center, far in the distance, dominating the horizon, is this enormous banyan tree. It's easily hundreds and hundreds of meters tall, its branches stretching out across the lands below, forming this vast higher canopy. You can see vines as thick as tree trunks hanging down from its boughs into the forest below, as well as curling back up again, forming this almost network of vines. And as you glance over the side and look down below into the forest, you can see the glimpse of water and light reflected, revealing a vast network of canals and estuaries below you. An enormous swamp. Rung, you're probably the only person who would know about the swamp below, because you are of the Earth Kingdom.
Of course.
Exactly right. And also, you're not too far from Lai Wowo.
We're relying on Rung to know anything.
You are relying on Rung to know things. Good fucking luck. So your village, Lai Wowo, Rung, would probably be a little bit to the north of Omashu, but not too far. It probably would be one of the smaller villages, maybe in between Gaipan or Senlin village. So Gaipan village is the one that Jet tried to flood, and Senlin village was the one where the panda spirit, I don't know if you remember the black and white spirit, that episode. It's sort of halfway between those two, maybe along the coast rung near that area of forest land, right in the heart of the Earth Kingdom, just a little bit north of Omashu. You would probably have heard stories about the swamp, a very odd place that Earth Nation citizens actually rarely visit. You know that there are dangerous creatures that live in its depths. You know of the various creatures that haunt the waterways and the air around it. But the tree itself and the forest, you probably would have heard of stories, maybe from your childhood, of a Earth Nation king, one of the rulers of Omashu, wanting to construct a large summer palace along the borders of the river, just a little bit to the north, and needing lots of wood to help with the scaffolding and construction. They began cutting down the borders of the forest. This probably occurred a couple of generations ago, so the story that you've heard passed down, I'd say probably your grandma Rung. Oh, let's fucking do it.
Rung, come sit on my knee and I'll tell you about the story of the forest that moved, the forest that ate the kingdom.
What does Baby Rung sound like? This is the reason I'm doing this.
Yeah. Coming.
Deep voice for a kid.
Would you like to try again?
Yeah, I'm 5 years old. I'm ready.
Why do you sound like Bill and Ted the Flower Pot Man? There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
You sound like one of those Age of Empires villages. Food, water.
Oil.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The king.
Work. I was thinking more like Warcraft 3. Baby Rung just goes, something you doing? Tell me a story, Grandma. Oh my god, yes, please.
What? This is Swampy Yoda. I know, just a little Swampin' Yoda. I'm like,
oh, that's fantastic. I'm trying to remember if there was a specific name the swamp had, but I don't think it ever was given a specific name. I think it's always just the swamp.
The swamp.
Thank
Just
you.
the swamp.
Thanks for that.
differently.
Thank you. Does it not have a
No.
name? apart
I'm
from that?
looking it up right now.
Just this one.
And then there's
Foggy
the foggy swamp.
Foggy Swamp.
Or
That's
the
it.
foggy bottom swamp.
Oh, okay. I'm going to call it the Foggy Swamp.
You
And
watch your
Banyan Grove
mouth.
tree is the massive tree that stands in the center. Mr. Swamp. Fuck off, Shrupi. You disgust me.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Swamp.
Yeah. Misgendering the
Swamp
swamp.
pets.
Unbelievable.
Run, let me tell you about the foolish king of Omashu. This was during the time of Avatar Kurok. There was a king, ruler of Omashu. After Kurok's untimely demise, he decided to build a vast palace on the banks of the nearby river.
Why are you looking at cards? What is going on?
I just imagine Rung's just like paying attention, but not paying attention. He's just playing with something in his hands. Just got cards. Like,
Some real fucking method acting here.
This is
We
this
all
is
know
like
how we
another
feel
member
about
of the
method
thing.
actors.
See how I pay attention. I just shuffle cards when I'm just like with my hands down here.
And, well, this king,
Yeah, that's
his
what
name,
you're doing.
his name
was a ruler.
was King Pung. And he was the brother of the Earth King of Ba Sing Se. And he was ruling Omashu as the viceroy. Well, he decided to build a vast summer palace along the banks of the river. He sent all of the nearby villagers from Laiwowo as well, were sent and called upon to help chop down the Banyan Grove Forest, the Foggy Swamp. Well, for the first 2 days, the workers cut away at the trees, and the next morning they'd return. The trees had regrown, and the lumber that they had harvested had rotted to nothing. As you can imagine, this angered the king, made him very cross. He thought the workers were cheating him. He thought the workers were doing this. So he got more, pulled in more people from surrounding villages. Your grandfather, Rung, was one of the people pulled in to... Yes, absolutely.
You cut timber before he dug coal? Whoa.
Oh no, this was while he was still a coal miner. All the mines were shut down and he was brought to harvest wood and help chop down the forest. Well, your grandfather, like you, Rung, was a savvy man, and he knew that it was probably not wise to muck around with a place so clearly belonging to the spirits. Well, the Earth King didn't like that, and so he and the rest of the villagers from Laiwowo, who refused to participate in the logging, were kept in cages overnight. The next morning when they awoke, all of the workers, the palace that had been constructed, had all been claimed by the swamp, gone. Vast drag marks and vines covering the earth around, but those who'd refused to cut down the swamp, they found their cages had rotted, and they were free to return home. That is why you do not anger the spirits of the swamp, Rung.
So I won't anger the spirits of the swamp ever, Nan. I don't want to turn into a rotted timber and
That's
get
Nana
dragged
to
into
you.
the swamp.
No,
Nana, sorry, Nana.
She doesn't say that. I'm kidding, she doesn't say that. And
Like,
that's
I promise to never cut down a tree in the swamp.
and that's what you remember. Rung.
Scout's honor.
That's what you remember from your like grandmother's story. There's also this other story that she told you about the tortoise hare and the hare tortoise that had a race, but given that they were both just variations of tortoise hares, they both tied.
Good story, man. Can't wait to get my inheritance one day.
Well, the tortoise hare bragged and bragged, but the hare tortoise, he was quiet and he let his confidence speak for itself. But at the end of the day, they both tied.
But I was going to say one by a hair, but no, they're both tied. Damn, it's no pun.
To this day, they still run across the Earth Kingdom.
So, Rung, that's what you remember about that's probably one of the stories you remember from the Foggy Swamp. I love how like my plan for this was going to be just like, just like drop a little hint that the swamp could be, there's some stuff going on there. And then I was like, fuck it, let's just role play a bedtime story with Nana Rung, Nana Bolo.
Yeah, Nana Bolo.
This story will really bowl you over, Rung.
And then she gets out a cricket bat.
Yeah, bam! She just smacks you with a bit of coal.
Nan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, man.
I just, like, as I have this...
Just fills a stocking with coal.
Yes. Oh, man, that's bad.
Wake up. I tell this story to everyone, and as I share the same story, I was like, hey, everyone! There's an interesting thing about the forest, by the way. Don't know where that came from. Freudian slip, one could say.
Oh, it sounds like people want us to have a new series on YouTube called Nana Rung's Bedtime Stories. I could do it as like an ASMR thing if you like. I had someone, because I did fun story. So the first episode of Tears of the Kingdom, because it was like 2 a.m. when I was recording it, and I didn't want to wake Alice up, I was talking a little bit quietly and doing this sort of inside voice for Tears of the Kingdom, and like I've had people like, this is great ASMR in the comments. Thing is though, when they get to episode 2, when it's like 6 a.m, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. It's like immediately very much louder.
People are just like, oh wow, I just discovered this new channel.
Yeah.
It's so good to sleep to. Oh, the episode came out.
Yeah,
I can't wait to go to bed.
inside voice.
Then they turn it on, it's like episode 2. Sorry, headphone listeners. But also the Lost ASM Archives. It's a great name and you love it. Sorry, people who had to listen to that. That would have been quite loud. I don't know how loud it was. Hopefully the noise gate reduced it a bit for you.
No.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I'll come back and I'll edit that down a bit quieter so it's not as deafening. The fact that I could hear it on my own feedback tells me that it was bad. Sorry about that. Anyway, Rung, that's what you share.
Just the screech.
That's all you share?
That's what you share.
Yeah, that's what you
I
share.
just screech like a pterodactyl at everyone. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that's weird, Brandon. I mean,
Sorry, I was just channeling my great grandmother's story that she told me when I was a young reptile hatching from an egg. Oh man.
counts.
Anyway, don't cut down any trees in the swamp. I don't know if there's a reason to go there or not.
I thought you meant to.
Is
cut
there a
down
reason
the
to
tree.
not cut down the trees?
I mean, no, like to
No,
go to
there's
the
no-
swamp in general. If there's anything to see, but
So
I
only
just
works
know
if you
that.
cut them down, right?
probably burn as well.
What
I think
happens
it's
if we set
nan
fire?
General.
To the
I'm
rain?
pretty sure. I was gonna sing that. I'm like, no, not doing that for you, Owen. Got you covered.
Then you don't have me covered if you're not doing it for me. It's like if you don't do it, then you don't have me covered.
I was worried about DMCA. Like,
Oh, there's no way us singing "I Set Fire to the Rain" out of tune is gonna get. Thank you. There's no way that's getting copyright strike. Don't be ridiculous.
who knows?
Out
I'm
of
very
tune.
Close.
You
I
watch
sing so
yourself.
close to her. You have no idea. Related.
I am offended.
You can do it in Nana Rung's voice. And I set fire to the rain. That's it anyway. Yeah.
Keep going.
That's
Keep going.
And I set fire. Amazing.
Perfect.
So who was that,
I'm
by the
pretty
way?
sure it counts
Bree?
for fire.
You can fire bad? Is that Rung's advice? Fire
Yeah.
bad?
Fire bad.
bad.
Yeah, pretty sure Nan was just like, in general, don't harm these trees. They will probably murder you, I'm pretty sure. So don't harm
We
the
could
tree.
take them.
The trees would murder us?
I'm pretty sure. Like she said, like big vines. Grab people, dragged him into the swamp. I don't think Nan would lie. Like she was very old when she said these things, and she has a great. Might have had a good. She had a memory, so I'm pretty sure she wouldn't lie.
You sure
I'm
she
certain.
was your nan, though, right?
Oh yeah, definitely my Nan. Yeah. But
Did she tell you that, or your mum?
nah, that was Nana Rolo told me that one. Bolo, sorry.
Don't even know your last name that you came up with. That's pretty bad. That's pretty shit.
I've been dealing with something today that has a very similar name to me. So
You've been eating lots of Rolos. We get it. You've got a chocolate. You've got a chocolate problem.
Rolos.
Oh, yum.
Exactly.
No. And you didn't share any, I'd like to point out.
Oh no, I got Daryl Lee Rocky Road this afternoon, so I was happy.
Fucking
Well,
Daryl.
what would you guys like to do?
We head to
We can check it out.
I don't think there's a need to go down
Do we
there.
have any, like, do we actually have any need to go down there? Like, aren't we trying to save Mr. Library? Like,
There
couldn't
is a
we just
timeline,
get
right?
moving?
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm just
Library's
sharing it
fine.
because it's cool.
Like, we have to go save
Yeah.
Mr. Library, and then we also have to go to, like, this town and, like, light this lantern.
But don't we want to see
it'll light
if
itself.
Nana Bolo was right?
I don't give two shits about your nana.
Oh,
Whoa.
No, Shurva has a
Hey.
point.
nice lady.
Shurva has a very good point.
No, she doesn't. You should
I
all
mean-
give a shit about my nan. She told us this story.
Well, she told you.
Now we're safe.
She told,
You told
a
us the
useless story that has no bearing on what we're doing or what
Just
our
so you know,
current
if you didn't tell us the
objective
story,
is.
we still wouldn't have stopped there.
Rung sits down and just like faces towards the back off Mango's like, I'm talking shit about my nan.
I'll
you're
sit next
probably
to-
paying the most attention. I will jump back to you, Aquila. Don't worry. You're probably paying the most attention because you have to kind of be looking at where you're flying Mango. Your pathway is leading directly towards the huge, enormous banyan tree rising high above the foggy swamp. As you just happen to glance around, keeping an eye on the horizon, keeping watch of where you are, for a second, you see what looks like this flash of reflected light off water. And as you look down, you see something moving rapidly through the trees below before it disappears from view. Something long and sinewy, slightly reflective.
Hey, did you guys? Did anyone see that?
No, we're talking shit about Rung's nan.
What did you see down there?
There was like a long flying eel in the trees with scales that reflected, and that's what caught my eye.
I mean, that sounds like
Told you
another
it was
great
wrong.
reason
Where was
to
this
just
in the
not
story?
stop here.
Where was this in your Nan's story?
Nan didn't say anything about a fleshy lizard light eel. She just said it was bad to go there and you get dragged in and could die.
I don't think she
Metal as
said
hell now,
that.
though.
I don't think that's anything that was part of the story.
No,
That was very close.
I'm pretty sure
We
it was
would
just
know.
don't
Close.
damage the trees and you
Does
should be
cons-
fine.
It does concern me that I
bit
literally
of
read this
creative
out
liberties.
to Brandon a few minutes ago, and like Rung can't even. Like, although I guess it makes sense that Rung's getting it wrong because he heard it as a child, so maybe.
And he was playing with cards.
And he was playing with cards.
And
Maybe this does
Yeah,
make sense.
he was very distracted. Like, oh yeah, man. Yeah,
In fact, the other player
Basically the
characters
same
who weren't
thing.
even there in the timeline recall the story better than he does.
It's a bit concerning, isn't it?
it's basically the same thing. It's just bad juju down there. It's just dangerous. Cut the trees
so
or anything bad.
let's not go.
So we're not stopping. We're not going to go investigate that flying eel thingamabobby, who's what's it, and we're going to live happy lives. Yes.
I mean, there's no reason to
I'll
unless
lower
we.
Mango just a bit.
Just have a little look.
Can I sit next to Rung on
Yes.
the back and I'll just be like,
If I have
I
to
li-
burn down a forest
I
because of you,
liked
I
your
swear to
Nan's
God.
story.
Appreciate that,
What did
man.
Aquila say?
That's okay.
I said I liked your Nana's story.
Oh,
I appreciate that, man.
Lame.
But you can say if it's a boring story or not. That's okay. She did ramble a lot in her old age. A lot.
I don't remember much of it already.
She was a
but
bit racist.
It was nice.
was that racist?
Me too.
Race against like other benders or other?
Yeah, it'd be have
Yeah.
to be like other nations.
Yeah,
She
Rung,
was a
explain
Bendis.
yourself.
Explain how you're racist in the Avatar lands.
Well, not,
Is
not
it
you.
nationalist?
Didn't really like the sand people. She didn't really like firebenders. Wasn't a big
I mean,
fan of
that's
those
fair
guys.
though.
Not
Like,
hot-handed.
you guys know one firebender. How do you feel about firebenders so far on this campaign?
Pretty
Better.
bad.
I mean, seems to catch a lot of things on fire, so live up to the name. But better. I've made my own decisions in life as I've gone around. You guys are right.
Nicer to him than I would have been.
As you begin moving a little bit lower and searching through the trees, did you want to roll me a assess a situation check?
I would love to.
I thought you might.
The answer is don't go there. Keep flying.
That is a 13.
13. Ask away, my friend. What
Are
you
we in
looking for?
danger?
As you
Like,
look down,
is that thing
yeah.
like hunting us
Yep. Okay.
and like, or
Question
danger
number
from
one.
anything else? Yep.
As you look down and begin peering through the trees, you realize, as you look closer, what you saw wasn't something organic. It looks like a long canoe made out of a dark stained wood that's moving through the canals. And as you peer through the foliage, you can see two people sitting on it, dressed in what look to be green clothes, or maybe clothes made out of foliage, as you have a bit of a closer look at them. They seem to be cruising through the trees below. That speed that they moved with before was moving down between two trees. It looks like there was a little bit of a natural rapids area. And now that the water has leveled out a little bit, they seem to be cruising along a natural thoroughfare, a natural canal between the swamp, between the tree trunks. What you also see, rather unexpectedly, sitting on the canoe with them, is an airbender. Not dressed in the same robe colors that you are, the oranges, yellows, and reds, but darker colors, more focusing on that darker crimson, burnt orange coloration. Sitting in the middle of the canoe. In terms of things tracking you or danger, not that you can spy, not from up in the air. But looking down into the depths of the swamp below, you know that there are likely creatures, predators lurking in the water. Maybe some alligator eels. Creatures that can rise up out of the water quite rapidly.
So you could say the two people pushing the canoe are camouflaged with foliage, like you said.
Yeah, dressed in either green clothing or clothing to resemble foliage, or actually clothing made out of foliage themselves.
Okay, yeah. So not like earthbender green, but like actual
No.
just like camouflage green.
Yeah, like this sort of dappled camouflage green. To your eyes, Al, it almost looks like they're wearing clothes made out of leaves.
And just one airbender in the
Just one airbender. in the
one
canoe.
could extrapolate as the guiding wind uniform.
That coloration, those darker colors that you've seen, which actually are a little bit of history for you. The darker colors are you would know this, that the darker colors in the very distant past of the air nomads, often the coloration, the dyeing of the cloth would signify different levels of spiritual enlightenment, but over time that was seen as being a bit competitive and ostentatious and actually not in line with the harmonious nature of the airbenders. But the guiding wind have tried to sort of reclaim that as a sign of their spiritual superiority over other airbenders and air nomads. And so they wear those darker colors that aren't commonly used anymore.
Hey guys, what we kind of figured that they were taking Mr. Library to Omashu, but it could have just been in the direction of Omashu, and they could be hiding in these swamps.
Is this
Because if you look down there,
is this the same like direction?
we're south of Omashu. Like we're just a bit south of Omashu.
Just a little bit south. Okay.
That's correct, right? DM?
You're flying over the swamp at this point. You're now over the fucking swamp.
but
Yeah.
we're like Omashu is further north from where
Oh
we are.
yeah, Omashu's probably a full day, maybe a day and a half flight from here.
Okay, so like they could have a hideout here, and they could be. I mean, that guy down there looks like he's the guiding wind, and those two look like they're trying to hide from anyone seeing them from above. Do you guys want to?
Do you think Mr. Library's here?
Maybe. Should we? It's a pretty dangerous area, though, and Cher was right
Only
to
if
say
you
that
hurt the trees. Though,
Only if we
apparently.
cut down trees.
we have Mako, guys.
I have.
This area is pretty dangerous.
I've not hurt a living tree.
Can we put some gloves on Mako
I mean,
or something?
technically,
Just
the
pipe
wood,
anything
the houses,
like
the wood was still alive.
Oh well.
Marco about to say he has self-control and lie to all of us.
That would have been a
Just gonna
deception check.
gaslight people. I have
Absolutely.
self-control.
Just-
Alright.
You did just firebomb a town, so you better not lie to us, man.
I
Maybe
tell
he's
you,
got
my
it all
intentions are
wrong.
We
strictly
know what
honourable.
you did.
It's all out of my system now, guys.
You got
It's
it out
okay.
of you?
Yep.
I
don't
believe
like
him,
that.
Lighter.
I don't know if
I
I'd...
believe him because he knows the swamp would get him if he does anything to it. Don't know how my nan sounds like
Is that what I
now.
sounded like when I was doing Nano Rolo?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I went from nan to witch.
Yeah. And if you break my covenant, I'll brew your bones into a delicious potion. Or a lotion. My
My
skin's
nan's
a bit
like
dry.
witches in like The Witcher. Crazy.
Oh, God.
Which
Oh,
direction
yeah.
is the sun from us?
It's because you guys left in the morning, the sun's almost directly overhead. It's probably just about midday. Hence why as you're flying over the swamp, you get that brilliant reflection of the light below, letting you know where the water is in the swamp. So yeah, I'd probably say it's almost exactly midday.
Should we like go out of their sight so they don't spot us, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can give it a go.
okay. And then maybe try to tail them.
Do we have
How do we feel?
any kind of like spyglass or anything like that? Anyone's inventories? I'd imagine probably
I
not.
have nothing of the sort.
I was gonna
Negative.
say I don't think we've ever like seen that in a shop or anything where one of us would have.
I also don't think, even if I've described it, you would have bought it. A spyglass.
Go like this.
And like,
You can
Like,
seem
yeah,
like
I was
you're
gonna
say,
really
like-
zooming in.
Can Aquila?
so-
I
No.
probably
Like, you
would
know,
have
Bug's Life?
because we're on a certain.
Oh, the
recipe.
Bug's Life thing with the
Oh, yeah,
with the
true.
dewdrop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Dewdrop.
love how I knew exactly what I was going with that one.
Can I try that?
No, I'm going to explain optically why that doesn't work.
Alright.
You really made a mistake letting
I
an
love how I just
optometrist.
said that one bit. You're right with me there. That's awesome.
I'm also
we're on the same page.
I'm also jumping in on Marco's. Oh, if you cup your hands like a telescope and move your hands away, you can like zoom in. No, what you're doing is creating a pinhole effect with the limited aperture of your eyes, which moves light into a parallel beam, so that you can see things with higher focus, but you're not zooming in. You can't zoom. There's no way
But
for a
it's
human to
high-
zoom in their eyes without moving forwards or moving backwards.
Yeah, I go like
I
What you're
do
saying is we
believe-
can focus on
Yes,
something
Bree.
though.
I do believe Owen just derailed the campaign.
No, that wasn't me. That was these guys talking about Bug's Life and Dewdrop. Nice try.
Which one first said Bug's Life?
That would have
It
been
was
Brandon.
Archie.
It was Brandon.
Brandon, you reckon?
you said you didn't say Bug's Life. You just said
You said a quote, yeah.
What's the outcome, kids?
I thought I said
Who
Bug's
derailed
Life,
us?
and you said dude.
Oh yeah, you did say Bug's Life. Yeah.
Are you
And
now
then-
running
and then
Yeah.
a poll in chat every session, Bree, for who
Yes.
derails us?
yeah,
Absolutely,
you,
I
you
am.
mentioned Bug's Life, and then I took it and ran.
Yeah. You
What were the
actually,
bets?
Like, describe
Who-
what I
who
was
won that?
thinking.
It was all bets were on Andrew.
250 on Andrew, 30 on Rung, and 10 on Owen.
So much on me, Jesus
I
Christ.
know. Even last session, I forgot to take your name out of it. You still had the most votes. And you weren't even here.
It's pretty funny.
But as this happens,
Anyway.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, probably then, Shurva, back to what you were saying. Yeah, I don't think you've done much shopping for a while though, because you didn't go while you were at Kyoshi and the guys went.
Yeah, so I only went at Chin Village, and that's where I bought the tent, and I asked like what they had kind of thing, but there wasn't really anything else that interested me, so I'm not sure
No.
if like it even would have been mentioned or if it would have even been something that Chin Village would really have.
No, a
Whereas
spyglass or
maybe something
telescope.
Kyoshi would have, but
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
boys
say.
wouldn't have thought to look for it.
100% the pirate ship would have had them when the guys went to the pirate ship. 100%. You're
Yeah.
raising your hand, Archie. Yep.
We never bought one.
Thank you for that. We know.
Yes. He was just trying to figure out if we ever would have been in a position to buy one.
Yeah, you would have. When you and Arl explored the pirate ship, 110% you would have been able to buy a spyglass
I think
there.
there was even one
I
mentioned.
bought fans.
And a
think we
pet
got
rock for
distracted
Rung.
by the magazines.
I'm
You did
pretty
get-
sure, thinking back, that you did actually mention there being some kind of
Yeah.
spyglass in there.
I don't
I
recall
think I
that.
remember the word spyglass, but then you also said there was boobs, so
Yeah, everyone got distracted by the porn.
I definitely never once described
sorry.
using that
hinted-
word.
Hinted at.
Alluded to.
A promiscuous woman on a fan. Ooh.
I just described it as a
Ow.
beautiful painting of some women, and as Arl unfolds it, you realise that they're quite scantily clad. You quickly close it up. Your innocent little minds not wanting to be corrupted by the
And Al blushed.
Innocence.
furious
Oh, ooh.
How many
why does
people
it
have
say
we
link
killed
in
already?
bio? What's that mean?
Lincoln. Yeah, get them only from OnlyFans. No, so
Who's
unfortunately, you do not have a spyglass with you, Shurva. In answer to your question.
Okay.
We can always
Oh,
just
I
drop
want
down on them.
We do have dewdrops.
Arl, you do have one more question.
Have they seen us?
Between the dewdrops, yeah.
No, it doesn't look like they've seen you. If they have, they're not reacting in the slightest. The thing that's kind of helping you out with the sun being directly overhead,
Yeah, that's.
it's actually quite hard for anyone below to see you if you are directly above them. If you're off towards the sides, the tree canopies are helping to cover your tracks as well. In fact, the difficulty you're having seeing through the canopy to the waterways below is even worse for those below trying to look up directly at the sun. You get the sense that probably it's going to be quite hard to spot you from below. Anyone who's at eye level with you guys will not have that problem. If anyone's up in the banyan grove tree, for example, or in the canopy looking across, not as much trouble.
Yeah, I have no problem seeing you right now, Al.
Hi. Further up the canal, can I see where it leads? Like, I guess this doesn't count as my.
The waterway, I can tell you for free, the waterways are a maze of interconnected canals and rivers. So imagine that there is a vast lake.
I just imagine Bree with a spyglass turning to Al. And Al's just like that.
Just waving. But all you can see is like Al's nose and one of his eyes.
just like the movement of the hand over the.
As you look over, Al just goes. Showing off his like upper teeth.
But we don't have a spyglass. That never happens.
So that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
We don't?
It's sad.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt you, DM.
No, it's okay. So imagine a vast lake that is filled with trees. The roots which grow down and through the water, the trunks rising up, forming these almost like natural walls blocking off sections of the waterway. So the canals are formed by the trunks of the trees and the roots themselves. The water itself covers this entire area as far as you can see. There are maybe a few spots of dry land below, but for most of the pathway below, it just looks like water. I can see Andrew's really confused by that. It's just like pulling.
Does this connect to the ocean?
It does. Yeah.
All water.
So it's just a giant
connects.
mangroves.
It's a massive mangrove swamp, but probably it becomes freshwater not too far in. Like the density of the trees and how closely packed they are, you get the sense that, yeah, it would be freshwater not too far in.
Cool.
Yeah, probably only the border trees would be dealing with the
Green
salt.
freshwater.
Are we like para dropping onto them in the canoe, or like what's happening?
No, we're just
like-
following them.
Like
We track
ODST
people in the sun.
style.
Yeah, ODST style, like game plot.
I think if we keep this same
Hell,
pace
boys.
with them so they can't look directly up at us at any time, like we just stay like directly above them, we'll be able to follow them and see where they're going. If they go somewhere that we can't see through the canopy, we should try to drop down and see where they are.
Yeah. And I'll make a special note not to cast a shadow of Mango onto the canoe.
So trying to stay back a little bit. So hovering
Yeah,
above,
yeah.
looking down towards them, but staying just
Yeah.
behind, so that if they were to look up, straight up, they're just going to be looking at the sun. If they were to look back, they're going to see maybe a shadow very, very occasionally, but hidden by the foliage. Cool. Alrighty. As you begin following along, even though the canopy above blocks them from view, sometimes for a couple of seconds, sometimes for almost a minute, with all of you focused on looking, not just Al, with all of you helping out and focusing your attention on trying to track this canoe, you do stay relatively in pace with it. Before too long, though, the undergrowth below becomes even thicker, vines choking the upper canopy and making it harder to know where they're going. In fact, you almost lose them for 2 full minutes before Rung is able to quickly spot a disturbance in the water, and as you move around a little bit over towards the west, you're able to catch up with them once again. It's probably at this point where you'd be considering heading below the canopy if you wanted to keep up with them, without the risk of losing them in the future. But it's up to you guys.
What do you guys want to do? Do you guys?
I feel like we should probably drop down a little bit, but try to stay as hidden as we can. I don't even know how we can do that.
Should I maybe go ahead and stop them, and you guys creep up behind them?
But what if they're going towards Mr. Library?
But what if they just like overpower you and just ignore you?
I think I
Well,
would rather
I mean-
know where they're going and know where, if they have some kind of secret hideout or something, I would rather know where that is than to just stop them and try to interrogate them.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
once they see us, they're gonna stop anyway, right? If we go under the mangrove. there's
Well,
a high
then we
risk
do
they'll
our
see.
best not to be seen.
I'll look at Mango, this giant flying bison.
What if a crocodile eats you?
Okay.
I
okay,
would be
yeah.
happy for you to scout ahead and try to keep pace with them while we try to do our best to keep hidden. And then if you see them stop somewhere, then we can Because it's going to be a lot easier for you to follow them around and jump from tree canopy to tree canopy by yourself. And that way we can hang back a little bit and you can come back to us once they've stopped somewhere.
As in swing from tree to tree?
I'm just meaning like you'll be able to like glide in and out of between the canopies as a singular person without being seen.
You'll be stealthy.
Even if you get changed into some of like Rung's clothing so that you blend a bit more in like the darker green.
Oh no, it's alright. I bought this black coat, this black robe just for this reason. I'll chuck on his
sick.
low vis black robe with the stab wound in the back.
Yeah, Shurva, as you look at it, the rest of you seeing it for the first time apart from Aquila, there's a knife wound in the back of this, as if the person who last wore this was stabbed in the back, and there's still some dried blood actually around the border of that stab.
Where
I got this for a steal.
Where did you get? How did you get this?
Oh, I didn't know you
from
had
a really
it in you.
nice man on a pirate ship.
I did not know you had it in you.
He was
I don't know why.
nice.
You
He was
talked to
nice,
him
right,
beforehand?
Aquila, what happened?
He was.
Pardon?
I thought he was frozen.
Sorry,
That's all Aquila.
So we've all jumped, just to catch you up, we've all jumped to the conclusion that he has stabbed somebody and stolen their cloak. So we're now
Oh, no,
asking you
no,
what
no, no,
happened.
we bought it like that.
From who?
The nice pirate
From
man.
where?
The nice pirate
Pirates.
man.
The pirates sold it to us.
Oh.
I
They
think
tell you
we're,
what
I
they
think we're
cost?
running out of time here, guys.
I think we got it for a discount.
Really?
I guess I'll chuck his cloak on and then hands the reins to who wants to steer Mango.
I'll
Who
see.
was the best at? I think it was either Aquila or Mako.
What is,
Put your hand down.
Well, didn't Mako
I'll hand it to Aquila.
Yeah, I was
didn't
gonna say, I'm
Mako
pretty sure
fly her the most? Like when we didn't have Al and we were like trying to find Mr. Library the first time. I feel like we relied on Mako to fly
I don't
her
remember.
because they had
Daddy?
better skill.
Daddy, is that right?
You guys need to remember this. I can't.
yeah,
be
I
the-
did, but I feel like
It's literally your fucking job to know what's happening in
It
this
was-
world. Might I add?
But it's
When
your
will
job to know what your
actually,
characters are doing.
Hey,
Oh,
you guys,
really?
because his-
Storm after the air spirit, like it was you with the little drum or the little singing bowl, and like Aquila was like, oh wait, no, was that no? That was
No.
I'm pretty sure Mako was the more competent flyer.
Marco's had the most
Actually, guys,
practice.
it makes sense for Marco to hold the rails because we're on a body of water. So if Aquila
And
needs to
if
get to
his
action, he can
hands
just.
are busy,
Yeah, he can't set fire to the forest.
yeah. Well, anyway, yeah.
Okay,
cat
it's
killer.
saying.
Yes, yeah. I'll.
Just so you know,
then-
last time I did take control and fly, I did send us into a storm of nearly death.
That's okay. There's no
Fine.
storms around here.
You watch
What is
this
that?
twister suddenly. No.
Guys, I want to fly into it.
We're storm chasing now.
If they get off the canoe and go somewhere and I need to follow them, and in case I can't see you guys at the time, I'll tie up this, and he holds up just a ripped piece of orange fabric from his, I don't know, rags of airbender clothing. I'll tie that to a branch or something so you'll know.
Okay.
Could just fly above the canopy, just saying.
No, because he's trying to keep hidden. Not going to want to draw attention to himself by shooting out the top of the canopy.
Just in case, Marco. My first
he might
preference
lose
will be
sight
to
of
try
them
and
otherwise.
utilize that with you. Yeah. So I'll jump down with his cloak.
Oh,
His glider, obviously.
Nothing ever goes wrong when you split a party.
No. As you wrap the
We're not
cloak
that far. We're not that far.
tight
Nothing
around
ever
you,
goes wrong.
oh, the wind resistance whips away at the sides, creating this like noise as you drop down. No, kidding. As you as you drop down into the canopy, it's only a very short drop, and as you pass through the upper layer of the canopy above, the forest below, the swamp below, is choked with vines and branches everywhere. Easy for you to land on and use as cover to sort of bounce between, not even really having to fly, more being able to use your airbending enhanced jumps to move from branch to branch.
Naruto style.
Yeah.
Right, where they get from the branch to branch. Yeah, on all fours. Yeah, nice.
Yep. Is that what you'd like to be doing?
I would love to do that.
Okay, you get to live out a fantasy then. As you Naruto jump from branch to branch, looking down into the gloomy depths below, you can see much clearer now the two people who are driving the canoe who aren't the airbender. There's no paddles that they're using. In fact, they just seem to be moving their arms above the surface of the water, propelling the canoe forwards. They are dressed in leaves. In fact, they both have these large hats made out of a very large single broad leaf that's been tied with vines around their heads, and they're wearing a very loose loincloth of leaves bound around them, as well as a shaggy, almost like a poncho made of stitched together leaves. And as they move their hands above the water, propelling it forwards, you can see that a little splash comes up from the swamp water towards the airbender who's sitting on the prow. Actually, no, they'd be sitting in the middle of the canoe. And as that sort of little glob of water, swampy, fetid water flies up, you watch as with a single finger, the air nomad catches it in a bubble of air and then drops it back over the surface of the water. As they turn...
What's a bubble of air look like?
A bubble of air looks like a sudden spinning group of wind that creates this sort of like vortex around it, similar to Aang's air scooter, but really, really small, just to kind of like catch and then direct. Nice try. Thought you got me there, didn't you? Not falling for it.
Viewers at home. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Dave. That's so good of you. I know you're not up to any shenanigans. As this happens, the figure turns, and you see that even though they have the fully shaved head that the male monks normally have, the features suggest this is a female airbender, and the voice that rings out is much higher than you were expecting. In fact, for a moment, you feel like you almost recognize this figure. There's something about them that looks familiar, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is.
Does it sound like Leg Shay?
It does sound a lot like Leg Shay.
I'll keep hidden.
As the
so
figure
impressed
turns,
that you have the notes to remember that.
That's just the basic requirements of playing.
Shut up.
Notes? What are they?
It's notes, and there's
He's our
post-it
note
notes
taker.
in here.
You know what? That's double inspiration for Dave. Birthday inspiration and good boy inspiration.
Good boy inspiration.
I don't know if I want to call it good boy inspiration. I feel I regret that.
No,
instead.
it's already been done. It's now called good boy inspiration.
Oh no! Sorry, Dave.
That's all right. It hides the fact that I gaslit like 3 people. I don't know.
No, you know what, Dave? You're one of my special little boys. Good job. That's a reference
Sound like a Catholic priest.
No, it's a reference to Taskmaster, Greg Davies. I love Taskmaster. It's very funny. I'm enjoying that when Taskmaster is amazing.
It works for me as well because I crave approval. So
it's true.
You and your praise king, get out of here.
As the figure turns around, it does sound a little bit like Leg Shay, but the features don't quite look the same as Sister Leg Shay. It's not her, but it does sound a little bit similar. The tone of voice, the way that they talk, it does sound very similar to Leg Shay. It has the same kind of quality. As the figure turns around, looks back at the other figure, this other swampy denizen, this person at the back of the canoe. She speaks quite angrily. If you splash me one more time, I will leave you both here and move on ahead by myself. The figure at the front laughs. Well, good luck with that. The swamp will get you quicker than an alligator guard will get you snapped up. There's vines everywhere. You'll get tangled in them. Why do you think you hide all of us here?
This is my least favorite voice.
You're welcome.
I love it. It's great.
I love it.
Man, I'm getting like Princess and the Frog vibes.
The problem is, I have to match.
It's like Ted Lasso.
I have to match the accent that was picked by the show for people who live in the swamp. So apparently they all have American accents. Which can I just say, low key, Massive shade from the creators to have the swamp benders as Texans. Huge fan. Huge fan. Very nice. Big fan. You hear this kind of irritated huff from the air nomad sitting in the middle of the canoe. But no more. As the two carry on, the figure at the back goes, "You know, I'm getting hungry. Can we see if we can rustle up some grub? Have you seen any fish there from the front? I'm getting peckish." The figure at the front sort of turns and looks around and goes, "No, I can't say as I've seen anything yet in the waters, but I'll keep an eye out, and if we find ourselves a nice big juicy fish, I'll bend it up and you can have it at the back, eh? We'll cook it when we get back." Another sigh from the air nomad in the middle before the canoe carries on. Arl, you're following along in the branches. The rest of you, particularly Mako, who's flying Mango right now, what are you doing?
How's he
I
doing,
continue
by the way?
following at the same distance.
If you're staying above the canopy, it's getting very difficult to stay on the two groups, on the figures in the canoe and on Arl. With Arl's dark grey-black cloak, he's now much harder to spot through the canopy. You very quickly, if you're staying above the canopy, you're very quickly finding it harder and harder to keep your eyes on them.
I think Al's also like looking out for them behind him as well, and like just making sure that they're on track.
You watch Arl as for a few, maybe like 30 seconds, they're heading off in completely the wrong direction before suddenly you see Rung point down at you, and then you watch as Mako steers Mango back overhead towards you. Yes.
When Rung points at me, Al's just like,
Just
Do you
waves.
think- When I look down between the canopy, is there enough space for a flying bison?
There are breaks in the canopy above where you could bring Mango down into the space below. How much maneuverability Mango will have? Hard to say. If the foliage is as dense as it is on the surface, you get the sense that Mango is not going to be doing a lot of flying quickly in this area. It's going to be slow and careful, or Mango's going to end up swimming.
Are you thinking to like touch down and stop? Or are you thinking to be able to like keep following?
I'm thinking we either go beneath the canopy and continue our best, or continuously get lost up here and try our best.
Let's try our best with the first one.
First one, we're going down.
I think we're gonna get lost up here.
We go down low and slow.
Just don't burn a tree, don't cut a tree.
Everyone hold on.
So in aid, fill in aid.
With that, Mako,
Very
you
much.
gently release the reins, the tension on the reins, and Mango begins moving down. At first, Mango is a little bit reticent to push through the upper layers of the canopy, letting out this every so often as you try and guide her through. But as a larger open area, a larger break, probably from a tree that's fallen over and hasn't yet been filled and replaced yet, Mango reluctantly lowers her head, sort of pausing a little bit before slowly pushing down into the area below. The first thing that strikes you as you drop into the gloom is the darkness under here. The shafts. The first thing that strikes you as you enter below the canopy is a branch right in the face, just hits you, closely followed by a vine, which actually turns out to be a snake. As it no,
yeah, Mango.
We broke a stick already. We're screwed.
That's the first thing that strikes you. The second thing is my fist up your nose. As you lower down through the canopy, your eyes take a moment to adjust to the gloom. Shafts of light puncturing through the trees and the leaves above, revealing this network of canals.
Andrew, you're so immature. He said shafts. Shut up.
I was looking at you. You were having a fucking grin on your face. Fucking-
This is very unprofessional, guys. I just want as you slowly guide Mango down along, stroking gently down the shaft of one of the trees. Is that better? Is that what you wanted?
Jesus Christ.
Is that what you wanted?
That's perfect.
As you gently guide, Archie's actually gone. He's just flat out gone. as you gently
Broken.
guide Mango through. A few of her, at first her front paw gets a little bit tangled in one of the vines. That sort of spooks her a little bit, Mako, and you have to pull back on the reins as she tries to pull away, pulling the vines free at the same time and sending them splashing to the water below. Up ahead, the splashing, you notice that one of the people on the boat, the one at the back, as he hears the splashing, sort of turns and looks up and looks around and goes, I think there's some fish jumping. We should turn around and go get the fish that are jumping. I'm hungry. The one at the front sort of pauses for a bit, and then you hear this, no, we have to keep moving. All you ever think about is your fucking bellies. Well, that's because we get hungry. Quiet, Stu. I think it's best if we get this young lady back to the rest of her people in the swamp, and then we can go and get ourselves a tasty snack. How does that sound? Yeah, that sounds all right. You hear this sort of grumbling noise. It's at this point back with the rest of you on Mango's back that it's getting much harder to maneuver through the canopy. As you lower down towards the tree trunks, it opens up a little bit, but just above the surface of the water, vines crisscross and form this dense network, almost like a series of nets strung up between the trunks of the trees. You can see insects buzzing above the surface of the water, large tiger mosquitoes darting backwards and forwards. As you fly forwards, Mako, I'm going to need you to make a roll with focus to keep Mango on track without losing
It's not
control.
passion?
It's not passion. That is focus. Shurva, what was your roll that was a miss for?
That was my protector's burden.
Well, that was a miss. That's not good. Mako, 9, success with
it's
consequences. You're able to keep Mango in the air for probably the first 5 minutes as you fly forwards. Occasionally, well, actually, that's a good question. The vines that are blocking the pathway and making it harder for Mango to fly above the surface of the water, how are you dealing with them? I open it up to all of you. I see Andrew smiling. Does Mako just occasionally poof, poof, with a little bit of fire to deal with the vines?
If no one else is going to say anything, yes.
Can I try and I'll try and like water whip gently, like the brushes away.
So let me get this straight. So the vines that are covering the pathway forwards, almost like a net, you're gently water whipping them in half, or are you
Like
gently
I'm
water
trying to
whipping
like
redirect
lift them, like just sort of like move. Like I'm not trying to cut anything.
Okay.
And so it's like using the water to like push it up.
Absolutely. 100%. That explains the 9 then in that case. As Aquila moves towards the front, I mean, there's plenty of water all around you, Aquila. The waterway below is actually surprisingly clean. You were probably expecting this sort of very fetid, dark brown water, but in fact, the water is actually this almost like a deep blue. You can see that it is a bit cloudy lower down. The first couple of meters in places seem to be a little bit clearer, and there are patches where it's much darker and much more muddy and swampy. But for the most part, the water is actually surprisingly not too bad. As you begin waterbending Aquila, raising up and creating this almost like a loop or circle of water around Mango that lifts and moves the vines up over the top, you are able to continue forwards. Mango slowing right down to keep pace with your bending, Aquila, as Mako begins guiding gently through the trees. As you move further ahead, keeping pace, you're probably keeping, I'd say, maybe like 40, 50 meters behind the boat, and then the rest of the gang on the back of Mango, maybe another 40 meters, 50 meters behind you, keeping an eye on you in the canopy above. Or do you want to be a bit closer?
So can I see them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, can I see like my friends? Not
Absolutely.
the canoe, but my friends.
Yeah, if you turn around and look back, you can see them. I'd probably say every so often you'd reveal yourself to behind just so that they can keep pace with you, because they can't always see the canoe in front. In fact, they probably can't for most of this time see the canoe, but occasionally you'd
And
jump
that's the
down.
point of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. Perfect. Brilliant.
Are there a lot of branching streams in this stream, river?
Infinite number of branching streams. So it's wrong to think of it as a stream. Think of it as it's all water, and occasionally the trees form not occasionally. The trees form these avenues and pathways, and occasionally there's some like little islands of dry land. But it's all water through here. Some of it quite deep.
So can I tell
Yeah.
if those two swamp people.
Yeah.
Are they locals? Because they seem to know the area.
I'd say, Al, that they do seem like they're very comfortable here. In fact, as you've dropped below the canopy with your cloak on and your robes, it's getting very hot and very humid. In fact, all of you, except for probably Rung, because he's only wearing a vest, and
I'm
Mako,
immune to temperature.
you're immune to temperature. Then never mind. That's
Yeah,
right.
That's a funny way of saying it, but like I'm immune to feeling
Yeah.
cold or like hot, right?
Yeah, that's right. You are. That's actually correct. Yeah, that's as a result of your exposure to the ice spirit. You,
Same.
Fox.
that's not
Same.
true. That's not true, Aquila. That is a flat
Nice
out lie.
try, though.
Yeah, that's a flat out lie. Aquila, probably you just shrug off your overcoat, the outer layer of robes that Fen made for you, and you're already feeling much cooler. Rung, you just wear a fucking sleeveless vest, so you're fine. You're not worried. Mako, your under tunic is actually surprisingly breezy. That because it's no longer like tight like a uniform around you, it's actually quite cool. And as you take off your jacket and roll your sleeves up, you're not as hot as you thought you might be. Shurva, you're still wearing your Fire Nation uniform, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's hot, man. It's the heat
It's
isn't the
hot.
problem. It's the humidity that's the problem.
Yeah. I'm
The heat.
sweating.
You're used to the heat. Fire Nation gets hot days. It's the humidity. You've never experienced
Because of the
humidity
Bree.
like this. The Fire Nation is a very dry heat. The climate's this very dry, arid heat. This is something else. As you breathe in, it's almost like
Suffocating.
you can like taste how like the air's almost chewy. It's so humid. As you like take a big bite, nom, 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 eat it down as you breathe it in.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That metaphor went really far. The air is very thick and very close underneath the canopy,
Yeah.
and the sound around you is strangely muted. Parts of it, it's hard to describe. Like there are aspects of this sort of echoey nature, but everything's kind of compressed, as if the leaves and the foliage are soaking up the sound itself. You follow the figures in the boat for about an hour through the swamplands before you spy a small series of what look to be pontoons in an open area tied around the trunk of a large tree, forming almost like a series of floating platforms around this tree, with a few tree houses built into the upper layers of the branches. There are other people dressed in a similar swamp garb that you can see here, moving around, men, women, and children. Some of them hauling in fish. You can see a number of them weaving what look to be more of the same clothes, as well as some baskets and nets. And in one of the upper branches, in a treehouse, you can see 3 other Air Nation air nomads, dressed in those same darker orange
Can I
and
see
red
Nomu?
robes. Can you see?
Mr. Library.
Nomu, Mr.
you-
Library.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
sorry.
can't-
DM doesn't know who Nomu is.
No, I
Mr.
know who
Library.
Nomu is. I just didn't hear you. Your noise gate
So you
didn't.
must remember his real name.
Yeah, your noise gate didn't let me experience the full range of Nomu's name. No, you don't see.
Nomu.
Thank you. You don't see Nomu,
Is it-
unfortunately.
Who's that?
But you do see Mr.
I'll-
Library. No.
I'll signal to the other, like he makes sure the others like are stopping, because if they keep going, then a big giant air bison will approach this little village town.
Yeah.
Probably then it's easier for you to just even head back and jump on board and tell them what you've seen at this point.
Al jumps back and jumps aboard and tells them what he's seen.
What'd you see?
Whoa.
Yeah, what was
Whoa.
this? What do you up?
Make him role play. I like it. Good. Keep it going.
Guys, there's like
Perfect.
a gathering of people that live in this swamp area. Was it 3 or 2 other? Is it 3 total or 2?
4 total. 3 others on the upper
Yeah.
platform. 1 in the boat.
There were 3 more guiding wind people here, and there were just people going amongst their day to day. Is that right? There were like just people doing their day to day.
Yeah. It just looks like people living their lives.
What would the guiding wind be doing here?
Did you see another
I
flying
think
bison?
the same thing.
I don't know.
This is the least windy place ever. It makes no sense.
I mean, it's guided. It's guided through the channels of the canopy. Sorry.
Something.
You reached so far for that one.
As far as the wind has to reach to get down below the cave.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Well, should we like?
So this
confront
they're at like their
them or
camp,
go-
right?
It's like a village place. It's like a settlement. Settlement is the word. Yeah, that's right.
That is what they're called.
Okay,
yeah.
so they're not going anywhere else. So we can sort of set up and prepare to go in. Rather
So
than
like,
just,
what's
yeah,
the
we can
plan
just-
here?
I don't think
Camp
there is
out. We
any
observe.
good that will come from us trying to confront them in any way. Like, not with so many potential allies around them. Like, you've got a whole town full of people who
But what
you
if
know at
we
least a
join
few of them would be benders.
Yeah, what if we
Yeah.
join
So why are we so
them?
against joining them, by the way?
Admit
Because
that
we
thought
do
from your
enough
brain
damage on our
immediately.
own.
That's not a real thought. Lose it.
What
So
have they done?
Well, what have they honestly done wrong?
Well, they
stole Mr.
largely
Library.
stand for avoiding any productive relationships between the air nomads and any other nation. So really, they're
They're trying to
that's
stop us from
antisocial
being friends with
behavior,
Al.
right? And
Oh,
and
okay.
like
And we
that
don't.
could
want
start some sort of war that could go badly for people. Because
Yeah, I've heard this really weird saying it all went bad when the air fighting winds attacked.
Yeah, I think that's the same.
That was really hard to put out. I don't know why I struggled so much.
That was that almost fell as flat as as Dave's joke about
I
the.
struggled so hard to get the words.
in 100 years, I don't want people
guarding wind.
to the air nation, the air nomads with the bad guys.
Don't worry, they won't.
Just before it gone like the wind, guiding.
I think that's
And
what
Mr. Library could be here somewhere. I just didn't see him out in the
So
open.
what you're
but,
saying-
like,
is we have to become ninjas.
I mean,
We got some
I'm not
cloaks.
saying we don't have to become ninjas.
And then
Do ninjas
stealth
exist in
in.
our world?
But we
Stealth
should.
in and see if Mr. Library's there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see a big giant cage when he was there. Like
You definitely
was-
could
was
not
there
see a
cage
big
that was
giant
like-
cage.
Any
Good try.
Did you see
though.
bison?
Can we see a
No big
sign
flashing
that
neon
says,
sign?
"Mr. Library
bison.
This way.
No, none of that.
No
Damn.
neon.
Damn.
We could always
Just
interrogate
flashing
them.
library.
I mean, ask questions.
No, you
could
couldn't
just
see any
ask-
of that.
We could just ask them, but then they might not want to hand Mr. Library over.
That's when I can take
Yeah.
Do
over.
they know
Like-
who we are?
What makes you think that they're gonna literally tell us anything?
I mean,
Well,
I
Like, we'll
guess
go
they
up
could-
and ask, and they're like, "No, we have no idea what you're talking
That's
about."
when
Oh,
you-
okay.
Then we walk away.
You'd be a bit more
Oh,
persuasive.
sorry.
Like,
You just
I
add a
Did-
little bit of flair and be more
Do
persuasive.
they? Do they know who we are though?
no, but I mean, we have built a bit of a reputation for ourselves. I think.
What reputation?
And it depends who they are as well. I mean, like Brother Pion, I believe, was a member of the Guiding Wind, and he would obviously know who we are.
Oh, did you see him there?
I couldn't make it out from the
Because
distance.
if you
I
did, you
didn't-
could just be like, "Yeah, I thought about it," and I was like, "Maybe I do want to join. I want to see
Well-
what this is all about."
That's what I was saying. I could maybe go in undercover.
Yeah, gaslight them.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know.
good at that.
What if I get? What if I get indoctrinated?
It's my
What if I
real
become
bending
one of
power.
them?
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think you'll
Ending
indoctrinate
the
them. It's fine.
memory of others.
I'm a truth bender.
alright, so can we all agree that if he switches sides, we just leave him here?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't
Mango's
do
my
that.
bison.
Technically,
Okay,
Mango.
but-
Would he-
Technically, Mango is Oki's bison. Technically.
Yeah. mechanically.
Mechanically, Mango is Oki's bison. if we're playing by the rules, but no, yeah, Mango is your bison.
I
But,
mean,
yeah.
Narratively.
if
Because
anything
they don't
were to
like other
happen to
nations,
you, though,
so they
I
won't.
just need to level up, right, and then it can become mine.
Probably.
yeah, are you gonna like take a
Uh,
move from that playbook. Is that
Who
how it
knows?
works?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Speaking of
I
level
like the
ups,
idea.
No, and it's now pushed back
If
3
you
sessions
were
because you
to,
asked.
if you were to give mango to anyone in your will in the event of your untimely death, who would it be?
Oki, probably.
yeah.
Okay, but she's not here, so let's try again.
I mean, I trust you guys to deliver mango to Oki if anything were to happen to
Fuck's
me.
sake.
Yeah, we'll deliver
So you trust us to look
Mango to
after
Oki.
until Mango gets to Oki. Is that what
Okay,
you're
I mean,
so-
Yeah, who,
I've
who
seen
would you
I've seen
want to
how Rung
deliver?
looks after Chirpy, and I really don't want that for Mango.
no, it's
Speaking
just
of
because
Chirpy.
Chirpy's tiny. No,
Because Oki
Chirpy's
is taking very
small.
good care of Bolto, so
Yeah, no, we left
Ah.
Chirpy back in town. Chirpy's gone. Yeah, back in the other
Wait,
place.
how did you know that?
Because he saw the.
Yeah, I read
Because of the Yeah,
Chirpy
that's
abandoned
what
me
that's what
anyway.
happens.
I never
that's
abandoned Chirpy.
that's what happens
you-
when Owen plays your character for a day.
I'm pretty sure
That's
you
how-
willingly
Yeah.
gave Chirpy away.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Canonically, Rung willingly gave Chirpy away to live a better life.
Rung realized that he was unable to care for this living creature, so swapped it for the pet rock that I gave him.
Pet Rock's awesome. I love the Pet Rock.
So
I swear I
Chirpy-
take
Chirpy
real
now
good
is with
care
the
of
Kyoshi
my
Warriors.
Korra, my real dog. She
Yeah.
has a great life. But this one I don't care about. Go on.
No. So Chirpy now lives with the Kyoshi Warriors.
Okay, so hear me out. If Al changes, and decides to hang out with these guys, we pretend he's dead and we just leave.
Yes.
okay. So if I genuinely switch over sides, I'll
probably join
use the keyword raspberry, so you know, and then you can
Wait. Wait. Wouldn't you not use that keyword so that you trick us and then you like?
I just love the idea of you going there and being like, whoa, look at all these raspberries.
You know what?
Forgetting the code word that you made yourself.
Yeah, basically. You don't have any mango pies. You only got raspberry pies.
Raspberry.
For the
You
trees.
guys, I'm making some raspberry pies.
Amazing.
Yeah, is that what we want to do, or do we want to just like stealth in at night and break into?
Well, what
people's
time
houses?
is it now? By the time
Midday,
we've got
just after midday, so it's been about an hour or two, so it's roughly like 1:30.
Or we
Well,
could just
didn't-
be
We
passerby.
haven't
Didn't we
Live.
leave Kyoshi after midday though? Because that's when they could go and collect their stuff. So it would be like more mid to late afternoon.
Oh, that's an error on the timeline. You are correct.
And we've been following them for a while.
dude.
But it's daylight savings and stuff. Are you in the
Yeah,
state?
as you
Time
cross
zone
into Chin
difference.
Village,
Yeah.
daylight savings
Yeah.
kicks in. No, you are correct. That is an Owen error. In that
It
case,
would
then
it would even like I would say based on the
it'd
hours
be
that
about
you've
4
given us, it'd
o'clock,
be
5 o'clock.
yeah, getting close to like early evening.
That is
so
true.
It'd start
Let-
almost looking dark.
Let me
Yeah, is it
retcon
like
then. When you were
winter,
asking
summer?
before about flying overhead, the sun was
Yeah.
moving towards the west, setting in the west, and it is now dropped below the
I was-
horizon, which casts shadows, long dark shadows in the swamp.
I was wondering how they were looking straight up and seeing the sun and not us, but I didn't
And you
want to
didn't
ruin our
say
plan.
anything.
No, because I didn't want to see it caught.
Well, in this case, then we're rewinding. They spot you, and you watch as this tornado. No.
No.
Why are there sharks in it?
When in doubt, take advantage of the
Sharknado.
DM.
Take advantage of me. He's tired after a long day of work.
Yeah, boy.
And the fact he's running 3 back-to-back RPG sessions every single
Oh,
week.
you poor thing. It's almost like you planned it yourself.
I did not plan on them being back-to-back. It was supposed to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The back-to-back is unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, that was our fault. Although we were always Thursdays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was
you
Monday,
You never
Wednesday,
offered
Thursday.
Fridays.
No, because I'm not free Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays are hard, right? People always have plans on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
make
it was
plans.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, people make
We have
plans.
lives?
I don't know them, but people do.
I don't get invited to them, but I hear they have plans all the time when I speak to them.
Yeah,
So
like-
with the sun,
like
with the sun setting and the
my Pokemon
dark
cards.
beginning to push in around you, you occasionally catch glimpses of things moving through the water. Mango sort of getting a little bit upset about things moving around her as she lets out this very low growl and then kicks her back leg a little bit down underneath her. Still trying to hover in place, but clearly getting pretty tired from a full day of flying.
Is there any way we can park her that's away from the village?
There is a small island, just a few, probably like 2-3 minutes back away, just down towards the east of where you are.
Parker?
What if we make camp and a couple of us keep an eye on what's happening in the settlement throughout the night,
I think
and
we
then
just go
when it
to
gets
the
too
settlement.
dark, we go in and spy?
I think we just become tourists. It's fine.
What? How would a tourist get all the way out here, though?
We
We got lost.
Legit.
Well, that's a good wrong
All
term.
right, you two can go in, and you two can be tourists, and the rest of us will watch as you get yourselves in trouble.
Aquila, me and you, good cop, bad cop. Let's go.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. What
This
could
is
go
working
wrong?
strangely well for my missed roll earlier.
It's gonna be fire and ice, 2 detectives.
Buddy cop
Going
movie.
for a mission.
Is
Alrighty.
that what we're doing?
I
I'm
want
happy
to
to
do
set
it so
up a
bad.
bivouac, and if we set up a bivouac, I want to just try and make it sheltered a little bit like that. Maybe, from line of sight, put up some walls of dirt, some of that, some leaves and shiz. Make sure we don't just have an island with like just a bison sitting on there in the middle of the open.
So absolutely, as you fly Mango back towards this sort of small muddy island on the edge of one of the larger trees, it looks like the earth has accumulated around the roots, and the island has formed over tens of hundreds of years. As you land, the soft earth underneath, you sort of see there's going to be a bit of a challenge to earthbend and make sure things stay up, because it is this sort of very soft, loamy mud. Could you please roll with, I'm going to say, harmony?
I certainly can try.
Fantastic. It's what I like to hear, Rung-Bolo.
Yes, I'm doing it, boss. I'm doing it. Oh, wait, harmony. Why'd you just have to say
This one's-
harmony? Why'd you have to say that one?
Would you roll? Let's see it. Come on, baby. 4, that is a miss. Rung, you make these very small, like, muddy mounds around the edge of the island, and, like, as you, like, dust your hands off, yeah, it's a job well rung. As you leave, these very, like, almost like a kid's sandcastle that's been washed away by the tide. There's just these, like, tiny, like, muddy mounds that you've attempted to lift up with your earthbending. Mango moves as far away from the edge of the water as possible, pushing herself up against the tree trunk and in between some of the roots before letting out this big yawn and laying down, curling up. I just made myself yawn with that. Laying down, and Dave too, laying down and curling up within the roots of the large tree. Mako and Aquila. So you two are going to try and go spy on the village.
Oh yeah,
Excuse me,
100%.
if I recall correctly. How are you going to
Yes.
get there?
I was hoping that would be dropped off like closer.
Okay.
Mom, can you drop me off to the
Actually,
village?
I was still in control of Mango,
No.
right?
Marco's
Al's back. Yeah.
If you guys want, we can take Mango, drop you guys off, and then
Could
I
I?
can-
No. They want to go off on their own. Let them fucking go off on their own.
Could I?
Mhm.
Sort
They
of
can
like
make a
the
boat.
same. Yeah. Could I the same way that they were doing it, like make like a little boat of wood and like waterbend push us towards, but quietly.
in like 5-minute job.
A
What is,
boat's
like-
just
like-
a big puppet.
A boat's just a piece of wood. I've
Yeah,
been
is there like
playing
a
lot of-
fallen over tree or something that's
Look.
floating?
Okay, I've
There-
been playing a lot of Zelda. Okay, I've made a boat with just a plank of wood. All right.
Not just one plank of wood that rotates
Yes.
and drops you into the
Yeah,
water.
exactly.
No,
Yes, it does.
a plank, not a log.
Oh, so where are you getting this plank from? How are you soaring it?
Well, what if I get 2 logs of wood then?
And how are you binding them together?
There's vines.
Yeah, there's vines
Bit
everywhere.
gumption.
Perfect. Keep describing. This is how you
Okay,
convince
so we've
me
got
of what
2
you're doing.
logs, tied together with some vines.
That we wait.
How
That
are you
we
getting these
found
logs?
on the ground?
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
we're not
Do you
cutting down
wanna-
trees.
Do you want to roll to assess the situation? See if you find any logs.
Absolutely. What do I do for
Remember
that?
what he said about what
perfectly
happens
cut
whenever
logs.
any
Assess the
trees are
situation.
cut down?
No, we're not cutting trees down.
We're not
Yeah,
cutting trees
but remember
down.
what happens to the wood? Think back.
No, because he didn't tell us.
Rung didn't share that, unfortunately. That's the one part of the story.
I said,
Nah.
You said don't
That's
cut
it.
down trees because
You said don't
then
cut down trees,
cut
and we're
down
like, okay.
trees, you'll get.
That's
Oh,
all you
yeah.
guys know.
well,
9
I just didn't know
successful
about the part. We were
consequences.
going to cut a tree down anyway.
Aquila, as you have a bit of a look around the island, you can indeed see a couple of logs half buried and sunken into the water. As you use your waterbending and just your strength to try and pull them up, you can see they are completely waterlogged, most of these trunks that have half submerged. They've been in the water for a long time. They're no longer floating.
That sucks.
We're
Could you
shilling ideas.
waterbend the water out of them?
Hey, dry them.
Is that possible?
Look, it's possible, but it's not a technique you know how to do. Like reaching inside and
Could you
pulling the
freeze
water
them?
out of something.
So they
Oh, he
become
knew how
icy.
to do it.
Okie
can inherit Mango.
didn't know how to make people move by controlling their blood, but you know, here we are.
And how far has that gotten you in life so far? You've been cast out of home, might I remind you?
Whoa,
Who's here and who isn't?
I willingly left. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Because they chased me, I had to run away, or I would have been imprisoned.
I could have left, or I could have been murdered.
Yeah, I could have
chose to
been
live.
executed. No.
I chose
Executed.
life.
Yeah. I could have stayed there and been executed, rightfully, for my crimes. Well within the law for them to execute me for what I did. Or I could have run away and dodged the law. I chose the latter.
Yeah. Imagine the log is a body and the water inside is blood.
Don't help him, chat. Mako had a good idea. He said something before about how you could,
Freeze the logs. Freeze the water.
The water in the logs.
well,
All
even
right.
if you
That
don't
make
just
it
freeze the water in the
blood.
logs, even if you just freeze the water on the logs
Like
and
just
around
make like a
the
little
logs,
ice shell
Yeah.
for us to like move on.
Oh, yeah.
and that,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even need the vines. You could just freeze together.
Oh, I forgot he was like also able to freeze water for a second.
Honestly,
the
I
water,
forgot-
the water is
yeah.
very warm though.
Honestly,
right?
I
like
forgot
it's gonna
too.
melt pretty fast.
Yeah, but like if then I just get a stick and then I push us while he just constantly keeps it cold.
Well, what? Oh, okay.
You
I
guys
was
are
gonna
gonna
say
Get the chili bean.
just keep freezing a path, but yeah, that works too.
I feel like that'd be way too much effort.
Mm.
Weren't you guys also trying to like get there like fast?
Yeah, we should.
The
probably
sun is
keep
fully
going.
setting at this point. I'm
let's
assuming
go.
that Shurva's making a
What?
campfire at this point.
Yeah.
Just,
What?
yeah.
What
It's the
can I
night
roll?
set
Setting
to
up,
make-
It's melting
setting up
their-
a tent.
Yeah, like getting some
Just
rations
melting their
out.
boat as they're building it. Trying to freeze it, you get a little fire.
Dad,
Um,
what do I roll to make it ice boat?
What was that, sorry?
What do I roll to make it ice boat?
Just with focus.
Fuck us.
Skills and training.
Shit.
Oh yeah, I'd say skills and training would work.
I mean, that
That's
is
okay. I did
focus roll.
focus.
It
I
is,
did
yeah.
focus. That's
It is, that is it. No,
What'd
no,
you
that
get?
is it. That's skills and training. Yeah.
What'd you get?
9, success
9.
with consequences. Brilliant. Aquila.
No. Total success. We're not taking any risks here.
No, it says
It's too late.
it says 9 success with consequences, and I'm about to
I'm
tell you what
passing
those
it on.
consequences
I'm
are.
passing mine on. I don't want to sink halfway.
No. So this is what happens.
I don't think you can pass on your inspiration.
You can't do that. I will actually argue that you can use those where you want to. So do you want to use your
Oh,
inspiration as the
you
help
could,
action?
You could guide
yeah.
and comfort.
Yeah.
There's a help action.
Oh,
Do you
there is
wanna
a
use-
help action.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course you can. So that's a 10.
Oh yeah, I'll try to help.
You don't have to roll anything for that. You can you can just use your
I
you
think
can
it
use
just gives a +1, doesn't it?
so you can just use so you can roll with harmony to clear 2 fatigue or ask a question. What you're doing though is like using the one from the actual like combat, which is give me a moment to remind myself. Help. It's the help action. You can mark 1 fatigue to give them +1 to their roll, but I will say if you use your inspiration, you don't have to mark the fatigue.
Cool.
Would you like to do
Yeah.
that, Marco?
Yes.
Brilliant. 10, full success. Aquila, you've had to make rafts out of ice floes before. You even know how to freeze water to make like very small.
Is
You've
that
had an
how
idea.
you survived?
Yeah, that's how he survived. That's how he got out of the. That's how he got out of the Northern Water Tribe and crossed the ocean. He didn't have a boat. So
You
it
think
doesn't
I
work.
swam
I never
all
put that
way?
together.
It's not very efficient. And Aquila, you would have probably, I'd say maybe that you only use that ice flow to get around to the docks to steal a proper boat, a proper canoe, and then begin sailing.
I don't think I would have stolen. I think I would have been a hideaway.
That's stealing.
But I wouldn't have taken the boat.
You
Yeah,
would
I
have had
think
to
he's
have
too
to get
lazy.
away. Oh, you just let someone else sail it. So you got into a big one and just hid in the cargo hold in like a barrel.
Yeah.
That sounds
Great.
like something you would do.
Like a
It's definitely
solo.
more slimy. It's definitely something more that Aquila would do.
Fucking watch yourself.
There was. Or I'll make you watch yourself with my blood bending.
This is getting really personal.
So you've made canoes out of
Held
ice
the boat
flow
together
before.
with my tears.
Using the sunken logs, the waterlogged logs that you've pulled up from the edge of this small island in the middle of the swamp, you begin freezing, very carefully freezing them together and binding them with the ice as you cool and chill the water around, making a very makeshift canoe out of the ice and the logs together, being held together. Mako, as you climb in, it's very cold to sit in and touch the sides of on account of it being ice. Aquila, you're less bothered by this being a waterbender from the Northern Water Tribe, literally from the North Pole. But Mako, as you climb in, it's very uncomfortable to sit in this for very long. Aquila, you begin waterbending to propel the craft forwards. And before too long, as you leave the area of firelight, you begin moving through into the dark swamp. Now, my question is,
I have dark vision.
No, you don't,
Yeah,
though,
I've
because it's
tried
not D&D.
dark
It's not D&D, and you don't have dark vision.
I have true sight. Shit.
No, you don't. No, you don't have that because it's not D&D. We're playing Avatar Legends, and we're this is the 43rd or 44th episode we've done. You know how to play this game by now. Except Archie, it's only
I've
like
only
your 20th.
played like 20 or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's only your 20th.
I make a little candle.
Okay, brilliant. Marco, as you summon a bit of fire into your hands and hold it above, sort of like creating this almost
So
like
that everyone can see you.
yeah, like a
approaching
beacon in
water.
the night. Holding it above.
Where's the firefly?
Immediately, Marco, insects, thousands of tiny swarming flies
I knew this was happening.
begin descending
Yup.
your tiny flame and like just committing suicide as they fly through into this like small fire.
My
With the
kill count
light,
is going up.
this is what you get. With the light above you, a rather large moth flies through, catches on fire, and lets out this small like as it falls into the water with a little splook. And you hear this.
What's the Bug's Life reference where it's like, oh, the light. No, Jerry, no!
Yeah. How the hell have
I'm
we
just thinking,
already
like,
had
two
two Bugs Life
references.
references?
Isn't
It's
Bugs
such
reference
an old
night?
movie.
I even forgot about the movie until you mentioned it before.
Yeah, I forgot that existed.
I only know about it because I was.
PlayStation 1 game, I think, of that game.
Oh my god, that's 3 now. Thanks for that, Dave. Is this how you're hitting 32 today? Is you've gone and rewatched all the shows, all the kids movies to like try and reconnect
He's
to
just
your lost
regressed.
childhood? Yeah.
I rewatch Remember
Get back
You.
and watch Fern Gully.
Oh, Fern Guy, toxic love.
Oh, Jesus, not again.
As the what was that? So if you take out all the derailments, you're probably up to episode 5. To be fair,
Yeah.
as you begin
Well,
moving
like
through
that.
the dark
He's
swamp,
not
waters, pushing between the trees, before too long, the two of you are alone in the darkness. The only light
Whoa.
coming from Marco's
Whoa,
flame.
stop.
What was that?
No, I'm not joking.
Good, because this is actually a bit spooky with the trees pressing in all around, looming high above.
me.
No moonlight to illuminate, and no stars visible in the waters beneath. The canopy above blocking out the light. The sounds of the creatures that hunt during the night starting to wake up, calling out, crying out through the trees. Does anyone else hear smooth
Screaming
jazz?
sound? Like, no, I just heard like a screaming sound coming, I think from Archie's mic. And as you were like, the thing's hunting in the night, there's this scream.
Perfect. There's a moment where you kind of feel almost lost. You can't quite remember where to head. Arl's the only one who had even seen this little outpost in the swamp. You don't really know where you're going, just the vague direction. Right as you realize not only do you not know where to go, you now also don't really know where to go back to find the rest of the party. Turning around, you can no longer see the campfire. You catch a glimpse of a light moving through the trees. As you begin moving the canoe further towards it, it's almost this very soft, slightly greenish yellow glow, just out of view, ducking between the trees.
Mr.
And then-
Library.
And then as you pass around the trunk of a really large, overgrown mangrove, the roots rising up almost like spears from the depths below, you catch a sight of firelight glittering in the distance. Between the trunks of the nearby trees, you can see what look to be torches, not just along the surface of the water, but rising high up around the trunk of a tree. And as you begin moving forwards, you can now see the settlement. But that strange, slightly yellow-greenish light off towards your left is still moving through the trees, just out of view.
Is it like in line with us?
It looks like it's hovering just above the surface of the water. Occasionally, Mako, it looks like it ducks beneath the water.
How's my lantern looking that I got given by Ruler?
Your lantern, no change. The metal is still sealed shut.
Cool.
How close are we to land?
You're probably only about 20 meters away from the village at this point.
Does it look like a spirit?
I don't know how to answer that question, Marco. I mean, there could be
Assess
a
the
number of
situation?
things. There could be, yeah, make an assess the
Like
situation.
just like from my previous experiences.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so bad. Yep. Don't worry about it.
What was it?
A 6.
I mean, Marco, you don't know. Probably.
Okay.
Could be. Could just be a really big firefly. Oh, but it is going under the water. That's a bit weird.
That's a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
Come on.
Sure, it's fine. Sure,
there's like a
nothing to
giant firefly, I think, that's just over there, but it's going in the water. It's really strange.
I'll start like moving a little bit faster. Like sort of pushing, like pushing a bit faster
Towards the village, away from this, or turning around to try and chase this little light?
towards the village.
Okay. Just to stop Marco getting anywhere near a spirit. Basically.
Well, that and we don't know what it could be.
Perfect.
Look, I didn't want
as-
to go near the spirit. I was just wondering if it was.
As you begin pushing out through the trees, you come into full view of this settlement wrapped around the trunk of the tree. The pontoons that form this floating settlement around the base of this tree and then rise up. You can see up close that they've been here for quite some time. The wood is partly overgrown with moss and with lichen, and you can see where almost like small little sprigs have begun growing out through the thatch roofing that's made from these leaves bound together very tightly. Around the edge of the pontoon, sitting around a massive bonfire, look to be the residents of this small village, this small settlement. Probably about 25 people in total, a mixture of men, women, and children, all cooking fish over this open spit roast fire. As you look around, you can't see any sign of the air nomads that Arl had described earlier.
He lied to us.
He lied. He gaslit us.
What we should
I
have known.
believe it's now called Arl lighting. It's actually been renamed.
Oh, lighting.
Yeah, Arl lighting.
Meanwhile,
Rebrand.
Shurva, Rung, and Al are flying away on Mango.
It's just gone. So it was like, hey, so that reward money for like turning in Mako.
It's a shame we had to sacrifice Aquila, but at least we got rid of Mako.
Pretty sure Mako's been holding onto the money the entire time anyway.
Yeah. No, the three of you are having a fairly good time. As you set up your fire, same problem with the insects being attracted to the flame. But actually, that's a good question. Before I say you set up a campfire, where do you get the wood from for this campfire, Shurva?
I never said that I was setting up a
No,
campfire.
I said that, so you haven't set up a
said.
campfire. Yeah. So
I was setting up a tent.
a tent. So at this point,
We
then
didn't
you
wanna
guys
give
are in
our position
complete
away with the
darkness.
campfire Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. All right, then you guys do this in complete darkness. Not having a fire around allows you to see the myriad of fireflies that begin almost slowly falling from the canopy above, descending almost like snow before they hover about 2 or 3 meters off the ground, letting off this very soft, light green glow.
Pretty.
Really pretty. They move around in these sort of currents and eddies, and you can see down in the depths below a number of bioluminescent fish moving through the dark waters, letting off this very soft, light white glow. As you sit down, eat your rations, set up your tent, you guys have a grand old time. Mako,
Rations.
yeah, rations.
I
Mark-
am starting to pace a little bit,
Yeah.
feeling concerned.
At this point, it's probably been about half an hour.
But
45
yeah, but at the
minutes.
same time, I'm like so angry at him being so pig-headed all the time that I'm like, no, I don't care. I don't. You know, he could die for all I care. He could be like face down in the water drowning because Aquila can't do a boat to save his life, and I mean, he can do a boat to save his life because it's how he saved his life. But like, he could be. I don't care. No, it's fine. I don't care.
Sounds like you
Killing
care.
get dragged into this
But,
fucking.
like, should
I
we
agree.
like check on? No,
Nah,
you know what? No, I don't
nah,
care.
they're good.
No, I don't care.
I love the
He
idea
can
is
do
as you
whatever he wants. I
pace
don't care.
backwards and forwards, Shurva, on a rock next to you is a large frog that's sort of blinking one eye than the other as you like rant to this thing. And then as you like finish and look at it, it goes and just sort of looks at you, tilts its head a little bit, and then its tongue goes and grabs one of the fireflies, and you watch as it, and you see this glow within its belly, like illuminate the inside of its soft belly.
That was a little gross, but I appreciate you for lending a listening ear.
Is it just a frog? It's just a normal frog.
It looks like it's got a little bit of a tail. It's a frog salamander.
It'll probably be interesting.
Okay, that's the least
No.
horrifying one you've done.
As
cool.
you watch,
I
it
know.
opens its mouth, and a second, its tongue like darts forward, and you can see like a little alien mouth on the tongue.
Yeah. No one saw that coming.
Probably is the least
Frog
horrifying.
salamander actually breathes fire.
Yes, it's a frog salamander. It kind of looks like an immature frog, half between tadpole and fully grown. That's grown very, very large. Still has its tail. The back legs are a bit more elongated, almost a little bit lizard-like from the back. But yeah, as it sort of looks at you, Shurva, tongue goes out and grabs another firefly. As it watches you.
I just keep ranting and pacing.
Cool.
In the exact same, like, repeating the same sentences like over and over and over again.
Brilliant. Mako and Aquila.
Yeah, we infiltrate the base. We find Mr. Library, and we head back.
No.
As soon as we get within sight of the village,
Yeah.
and there's the lights, I turn my light off.
Okay, brilliant. As you do, you stop getting smacked in the face by like a billion mosquitoes.
So once we hit land, I'll get off the boat sort of straight away.
So yeah, heading straight towards the village. Okay, that's all I needed to
Yes.
know. As
I
you
just wanna be
guys
out of the water.
as you guys begin moving towards the village, you hear quietly. Yeah, quietly. As you move into the area where the firelight illuminates around the village, the glow from the myriad of torches set up around the village, letting off this very soft, warm glow around the tree. As you move into the area of the firelight, you hear a voice go, I think there's some people down there. There's some people down there. Hey, hello. Gives a bit of a wave from the upper branches. As you look up, you can see there are a couple of people set as lookout. Looks like there's one person up in the upper branches sitting as a lookout, another one a little bit lower down. And as you see this figure with a very scraggly beard, very prominent Adam's apple, quite thin, quite gangly, looks down and goes, hello. That calls out to you and begins heading down.
Abort mission.
The rest of the villagers sort of like turn and look up and go, oh, well, hello there. Welcome to our village. As they begin like calling out from the circle of fire. I need to know what you two are doing.
Are
Go along
we-
with it. Go along with it.
Very successful
Okay.
mission.
With them? With them?
Yeah, like
With them or our plan?
we're just tourists now. We're just going along with.
Okay, we're going with that plan, not
Yeah.
get help. We're not going with get help. Okay.
No, we're not going with get help. No. Hello.
Hello, where? I don't know where we are.
A rather tall woman steps to the front. You can see that she is probably in her late 40s, early 50s, dressed in this long flowing dress made of leaves stitched together. And as she looks down at you two, puts her hands on her hips and goes, My, you two look like you're mighty famished. What are you doing out there in the dark of the swamp? It's dangerous out there.
We got really lost and we got separated from our friends.
Oh, I am so sorry to hear that. Why don't you dock your... Oh, that is a very interesting boat you've got there.
It'll disappearing a bit, I'm sure.
So much shade on Aquila's ability to make a raft. To be fair, though,
that's
he is
a
right.
very
It's
good raft.
very hot, and as you look, the boat is already melting. Like the water has begun to leak in through underneath. One of the branches is just broken off at the back. There's no rudder anymore. It's just gone.
It's fine.
Gracias, it did its job.
Let me give you a hand and let me help you up onto this pontoon here. My goodness, you two, you look like you've seen a ghost. What you doing out here in the dark of the swamp?
Oh, no, we just saw a giant firefly that went underwater. It's a whole thing.
You
it's really
come on
weird.
over. We got a lovely warm fire. We got some fresh bogfish that we caught only just this morning.
Yeah, so like as the comments in the chat said, we're wearing our very nice clothes, right?
You are wearing your nice clothes, yeah.
Yeah,
The ones
yeah,
that you
cool.
got specially made.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like,
Actually, I'm going to say,
What? You two are dressed like fine little dandies.
well, thank you.
A little dandy dwellers.
I introduced. I said, "I'm Aquila. This is Mako.
Hello.
It's lovely to meet you both. I am Marsh.
Marsh?
Marsh. Of the
Like
Marsh.
Very nice to meet you.
Marsh Swamp.
Just Marsh. Well, come on, pull up a seat by the fire. We got plenty of logs you can sit on. And any of those sticks there that you see that haven't been claimed by someone with a bit of fish on them, you help yourselves. We'll see if we can find you somewhere. You said you had some friends out here in the dark?
They might be long gone. We were left behind.
Long gone? Your friends just abandoned you here? That doesn't sound like something friends would do.
Friends is a strong word. I go with acquaintances.
I'm
Well-
just sitting there like with his
Travel-
friends. He's like, oh, what's this pain in my back? Oh,
Travel
God.
One of them is probably cursing
there.
at you right now.
Oh, that is so unusual. We've had so many visitors coming on through. You're not. You look like you're not with those air nomads.
Oh, you've had air nomads through here.
Oh yes, we've had a group come through here. We've been helping them guide around the swamp. They've been poking their noses around at some of the old ruins underneath the large tree, the banyan tree. It's been
Oh, that's
very
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. Are they still here?
Oh no, they set off for their camp this evening. They don't like hanging out with us. They're antisocial. Antisocial, I tell you.
Sorry.
That's like something Al would say.
That's a shame. You guys seem like really nice people.
We were about to get the Kanjo out and play a bit of a tune.
I really need to hear this.
Just for viewers at home, that's what a Kanjo is.
Dave has an actual...
What?
I'm so impressed.
Is this playing?
That is amazing.
podcast listeners, for podcast listeners, I need you to imagine a tin of spam that has a plank of wood nailed to it and then frets at the other end and actual strings. Can you play a bit for us?
The problem is the spam can is so weak that like every time you tune it, it like deforms and goes out of tune.
Spam Joe. That's exactly what the music sounds like that you're listening to. And that,
That's amazing.
a spam Joe. That's great. Oh, chat. And that, on that note, that is where we're going to wrap up for tonight's session as we get into the Swamp Benders. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. You're going to get murdered, yeah.
So murdered.
We were looking for some fresh meat. You two look like you've got plenty of spare flesh.
Especially you're so chubby.
Yeah.
We'll just shove this old spit right through the middle of you and just cook you whole.
We'll keep your clothes
Come on,
on. We'll keep
Greg.
you all succulent.
Got
no,
that
she doesn't say-
spammy, salty, meaty goodness.
Oh no. That is not the image I want people to be left on. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. That is all for Avatar
But it
Legends
is.
tonight, and that's what you're going to dream of if you're listening to this in the evening. We will go and raid another channel. We'll see who's around. We'll go raid them if you're watching on Twitch, so don't go anywhere. If you're watching on YouTube or listening to us on your podcast platform of choice, thank you so much for a start. If you want to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, we are well and truly on our way to hitting that 1,000 subs for YouTube Partner. Very, very exciting. You can be one of those legendary people who gets us across the line. And
I
you will
could be.
You could be. If you're not already, you could definitely be. And you are an absolute legend if you do that. You're still a legend if you don't, but you're a better legend if you do. If you are able to leave us a 5-star rating on any of the podcast platforms, that would also be amazing. It's been lovely having you all here tonight. Stay safe, stay well. Tomorrow night we have our homebrew 5th edition adventure, Return of the Giants. Very, very exciting, and really starting to get into the meat and bones of that campaign as well. Until then, though, stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again really soon. Until next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Mwah.